Why didn't they introduce them like first in Kampala schools, like right away the A schools? Because the A schools are studying French, German, stuff like that.
Well,
they took these things to Luweero.
Maybe they're getting a brown envelope also.
A brown envelope?
Yeah, do you know Chinese is actually the second most spoken language in the... It's
number one
in
the
number
world.
One. Before English.
What's English? What's English?
English is spoken almost everywhere.
No, it's number 3 after Spanish, actually.
Oh, I thought it was number 2.
Hey, wake up to the real world.
It has gone up.
So Chinese, they are 1.75
billion. I think it's understandable. So where is
French
French going to take you? Or German? You studied German. Where has German taken you?
I speak German.
Where has it taken you?
Are you the one who is working here? Look at this one.
No,
but my first years of employment, about 6 years, because of what I studied, I was employed in that. I was supposed to go to foreign service. That's what I always loved, but I never reached. Yeah, probably one day I'll go back. But yeah.
I can make you my minister for what? State minister. For
state minister. No, state minister has no control of budgets. Hey. He does not
look at has no control.
Well, at least when you're a minister, you have, there's close proximity, but
you know where the food is being cooked.
Yes, you know something. But of course, if regardless of Chinese or something else, I think the point is your child must be able to learn a language, whether they don't choose Chinese at the end of the day. They need to. Do you know any?
You need to know.
Do you speak any language?
Any language.
Don't tell me.
What am I speaking now? You talk about international languages, yeah?
Yes.
Of course, English. French, I still have a bit of work to do.
You try.
C'est the obvious. Everybody knows the greetings, Bonjour. Bonjour, monsieur.
Comment ça va?
Ça va bien. Comment allez-vous?
Oui.
Comment allez-vous, Brian?
Je
m'appelle Brian.
Yeah.
Je suis... mon chat.
You people are watching us. If you say funny
and some of them know.
We are going to be blasted. What language do you speak? What international language?
I did learn a bit of Spanish, but don't please.
Please try.
Hola chica.
Hola chica. What does that mean?
Hello, but that's to a girl.
Hola is like
hola chica.
That's the point for me.
Well, in the language that I know very well, Guten Morgen, meine Damen und Herren. Ich heiße Brian, and hi,
Mustafa.
Ask him
what's that you say?
I don't know. Ich How do you say I don't know?
What's that you're saying?
I don't know. Ich.
You don't know what you're saying?
I don't know. How do you say it in German?
It's what?
You're about to say shisha.
I know she's going to say shisha. Welcome to the press review. This is Morning at NTV. Like Jet Li or something. Or yeah, so yeah, it's crazy this morning. But speaking of China, Trump is accusing China of trade rape.
Yes.
We'll look at that later.
And it's not the first two.
Yes.
But whether they like it or not, China is giving them a bloody nose. It's poised to become the #1 world economy. It's going to become, read my lips. The way things are going, and clearly, the US economy is not surging. It keeps plummeting. So give it not so long a while.
That's why Trump is saying that you need to make America great again.
Make it great again.
It's going to be, if we win.
But you're a risk, you're world risk. How do you make America great?
We'll make America great. You'll get tired of winning. It's going to be huge.
That's where you create when you come in.
No, he says it from the backdrop of the trade deficit between the two countries.
Yeah.
And obviously he's not happy. He equates it to rape, which I guess that's why people don't see Trump as presidential material, because not many presidents will go out and say China is raping us.
Just speaks
that is diplomatically it's wrong. It's
they have
wrong.
lent them money. Actually, the US is a lot more indebted to China than to anybody else. China exports to the US a lot more than it does anywhere else, and they export legitimate stuff. The US just has to get to, and it gets back to even we individuals. Look, I earn 1 million, I should spend 1 million and below. If you earn 1 million and you want to spend 2 million, you become like the US.
Well,
What has
you
a
can-
very simple basic economics.
Well, you can look at that. I was watching something yesterday, and China seems to be the number of countries that the U.S. is relating with, not just in trade, but politics and the military. It's twice the number of countries that China is dealing with. And yes, it does not make you a superpower, but you cannot ignore, because also you
Influence
look
keeps
at the
growing.
quality of the interaction. You know, the U.S. would rather deal with South Africa than Uganda. And so you look at the quality of interaction, but they need to wake up, of course.
Do you think
But
they're threatened? Like in Africa, you find the Chinese are everywhere, you know, from Angola to Sudan to Uganda to Kenya, Tanzania.
But they will be, and they will continue to be for a
Yes.
couple of reasons. One, their aid is, you don't have strings attached, like the US.
Don't you think
know,
maybe our grandchildren will pay?
nobody gives you anything for free just so you get
Yes,
that big,
so you
yeah?
see, you're saying there are no strings now.
Well,
but
by strings,
the
really, I mean
Biancas
like
of
the
this world.
US, you know, and you've had many an African president say, the US, you can go to hell with your human rights, with your whatever. China doesn't ask those things. Money? You want money? You have. They just do a quick calculation. What do I get out of this, either now or 100 years to come? Here is
Boom.
money.
Here,
they don't
get your
care
money. Now
that
we are
you're Robert
learning-
Mugabe or you, I don't know who. No.
now we are learning Chinese in schools. But something that is definitely ongoing, the speakership race. NRM has interviewed Kadaga and Olanya.
We have information as of this morning. You know, SEC start up to 1 a.m. And what we hear, this is unconfirmed reports. We shall confirm along
Make
the
sure
day.
you say it's unconfirmed. Say it
I
again.
have said.
Say it
give
again.
me a break. It can even change. After all, these people also say things and they keep changing them. Look, it's unconfirmed reports, but we have gotten from 2 sources now. Normally, as a news person, you want to confirm from 3 sources. So we've done 2 sources as of this morning. We had to get another. And these 2 sources tell us the status quo is remaining.
Of course.
That's what they decided.
What did you think?
Oh, come
Things
on.
could have
Is that a
happened.
surprise?
Well, of course, it doesn't come as a surprise, but we are waiting to see how this will be taken. There's about 8 people that are standing for deputy speaker. So what are you going to tell them? Well, 6 from the NRM. So what, in essence, this means is that saying Kadaga, you're running for speaker. Olanya, you keep as deputy speaker, and you're going to run as an opposite there. So you've got to convince all the others, which anyway is not a difficult
To
thing to
step
do.
down.
You, Oboa, we shall make you state minister for, I don't know, this. You, we shall, you know, they'll sort them out.
Sereko, you'll become...
We,
What do you
when you
like?
say we shall make you. And did you see this other NRM lady? Don't you think she will face a disciplinary action?
For what?
For kneeling in front of...
Has Anita? Oh yes, she will face.
She
Anita faced
might.
disciplinary
She
action.
became a minister.
Exactly.
No, but
She was
she's
punished.
kneeling for Muhammad in Sereko.
Yeah, that's okay. So when Sereko becomes minister somewhere,
But
because
she looks very surprised.
No,
Look,
I think she's
what's
going
wrong?
to get into
That-
trouble.
By a whore.
is it
NRM.
Oh, these guys are so hypocritical. Forgive me for saying that. And here's why. During the primaries for MPs and all, they issued out regulations saying if you lose in the primaries and you run as an independent, stringent action will be taken against you, including and not limited to expelling you from the party.
when
Some of the people who were at that SEC meeting broke that rule.
yes,
Not only have they not been expelled from the party,
They are still
they are
ministers.
sitting at the SEC meeting and they are, you know,
they are the
determined
ones
to be
preparing the food,
good. So,
like
give
someone
us a
said.
break. These guys make their own laws and break them. Same old story.
Well, today is World International Press Freedom Day.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yes, but the Daily Monitor here is reporting that Uganda is on the decline. The report notes that Uganda declined in press freedom due to increased government pressure on the media and, of course, all the outlets and on the coverage of political events. Do you feel so?
You see, there is a bill before Parliament, Communications Bill, an amended one, 2016. And the biggest monkey in that is they're going to take away the authority of Parliament. You see, for any law to pass, it's going to be approved by Parliament. But now what it is saying, they're going to give a minister powers, what is called a statutory instrument. As minister, I can decide that I'm going to do this for the media. Maybe media houses, you're all going to give 80% coverage to government, whether you like it or not. You know, if a message appears on your show, we
cover
can
it.
clamp you down. And it passes, it becomes law, however outlandish it might sound. So that's what they're trying to push. They're trying to push. So the minister has all the authority as opposed to Parliament, because as it is now, minister suggests something, this is good for our media industry and so on, then Parliament debates it and then they can say no to it. But a minister who is a very political figure decides this is it and it happens.
But,
That's what they're trying to push.
ideally, in our current situation, what's the difference between the minister and Parliament?
There's a slight difference. You see, when Parliament gets on the spotlight, especially when there's a public outcry and so on, sometimes they come through reasonably.
Like
it also
what?
gives us chance
Like
to petition.
like
so
exemptions.
No, no matters that those ones. That's a written, dusted story. It is the obvious. That one they
like you give me another example. Like what? Where they had where there was a public outcry. Maybe
and Parliament came to our
GMOs.
Tell me.
Anyway, the point here we are making is we do not want this authority to be in the hands of one person. That's very risky. Let it be in the hands of 465 of them. Yeah, if they all get bought, at least it's a little bit harder. But for one particular individual, it's just a phone call away. He will sit in his office and decide this is what's going to happen. Now, if you're seen as a media house, as a journalist, you know, to give the state a bloody nose, you'll be muzzled. And it is law, it will operate. So that is what we are saying no to.
An interesting statistic here, 200 journalists were jailed worldwide in 2015. That's according to the Committee to Protect Journalists. And in 2016, journalists have been killed worldwide.
Which is quite unfortunate.
There are, I think, three journalists that were jailed in Egypt just a few days ago. We know the story of the WBS photojournalist who still needs a surgery to fix his spinal cord.
The president promised to pay his bills.
Yeah, we're still waiting.
We need to follow through on that as the media.
We're still waiting on that.
Then there's Mabel's friend also, who was punched by Minister Abraham Biandala.
Yeah.
Mabel, have you reconciled with that lady?
They said that she had just given birth. Mabel, what happened? Why are you quiet?
Press freedom, I get a pen and I put it there. But I want to say congratulations to Sheila Nduhuchide and Patricia Oyela of NTV, and Agnes Nandutu, who were recognized by the Uganda Media Women's Association, you know, as we're celebrating female journalists. They have done and continue to do a great job here at NTV.
Oh yeah, we salute you, women.
Yes.
You do amazing things.
It's a hard field. I mean, I look at some of the female journalists, especially as...
who are being punched by ministers.
Yes.
I know, broad daylight, someone asked me, you know, if someone has had a cesarean, you know, how would you feel if you were punched?
Look, cesarean or no cesarean,
no,
that man was foolish.
I was just saying someone was, obviously I've had lots of discussions about that. John, why are you looking at me with that smile?
Why shouldn't smiling? This is who I am. I'm always like this, right? So go on.
No, but I was just saying it is definitely a hard field for journalists and female journalists more so. But I guess women anywhere, you know, as a mother, as a wife, it's hard to juggle. But the hours put in for journalists is quite... you never have days off. I mean, like, you have days off. I mean, but public holidays, you're still here working. I mean, like, when was the last time you were off on a public holiday?
Well, that's the field we chose.
So that's what I'm saying.
We've got to dig in our heels.
Yes, you know, you make your bed, you lie in it. It's a bit tough, but kudos to those who have done. Do you feel that
sometimes journalists, we are provocative to our sources of information, ministers, MPs?
Why are you asking me? Why can't we just move on?
You're a journalist, so because we want to improve journalists. We want to stop provoking ministers.
Do they write?
They'll punch us.
Do they ask the right questions?
Do they write the right things in newspapers?
Do they write? Sometimes the information is not correct, and that's
when
why they issue apologies afterwards.
That's error.
Quite annoying, right? We really push it. Like, you know, I think if I would punch Joel, I would punch Joel lights out right on the show live.
Why?
He's quite annoying.
Asking provocative questions, yeah? So, are we provocative? Are we annoying at times?
Can we move on?
We want to move on and become better journalists. Because tomorrow I don't want to be punched for provoking. So I want to know if sometimes I can be
what is your problem?
Will punch you.
Let's move on
Let's move on.
All right. Kayura warns on dodging courses.
Those policemen who don't quite like to attend classes. I don't know, for whatever reason.
Well, they normally do some, you know. And the other day he was warning all those guys that have pot bellies.
Yeah.
He gave them a stern warning, but...
They do warm up.
What if you have a pot belly but you're flexible? Because I've met some people who are fairly big, but they're really flexible. They can dance, they can run, they can jump, they can, you know, dance.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, so if you have a pot belly and you can do your job, I don't see what the problem is.
I don't know. Okay, yeah, but Brian has it and he's a bit flexible, and, you know, but not everybody's like that. Now I'm provocative.
Brian, you're telling
I'm
us
working on it.
Friday,
I told you
your
guys.
one pack was
How's it going, by the way?
in secondary school.
It's going. Yeah, I last saw this thing like in what? S4, I think. And the day I see even one pack, you niggers, I'm going to take a selfie. You will see that one pack. But the point is, I think you need a police force that is healthy.
But you shouldn't judge them just because they have pot bellies.
Oh, come
You
on.
should.
You be fit. Why should it
Healthy.
be?
That's why some
Because
of us
now
are
I
going
fear
back
if
to
I
the
call
gym.
that guy for help, will he actually...
That's why
Call him fast and see.
All right, we need to move on. 70% of Makerere law entry exams, people fail these exams. Joel, you want to go back and do something in law. Isn't this, when you look at these numbers,
When this came...
probably 10 years from now, they'll recall your degree like they've done for some people. Some respectable politicians, they've cancelled theirs.
Well, I didn't cheat for this particular exam, I said.
Is your name there?
Yes,
Hey, Joel.
Joel, you actually went,
So,
and as
I
you
don't
had a
intend to
pre-entry,
cheat.
right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
But
you
these are
passed.
the results.
That was that pre-entry in English,
It had several sections.
because obviously you passed.
It
Hey,
had-
Joel, you are the best. Hey, Jesus! Please bring the camera. Hey,
be
this is awesome,
a
man.
big deal. And
Joel was the best. Man, let's zoom in. Oh my goodness, this is awesome.
Senyonyi Joel.
Zoom in, man. This is Joel was the best. So let's defocus that a little bit. If I could just get in there. Joel Senyonyi is right here. Do you see that? Oh my gosh, Joel Makerere University 70%. Who is that who got 71% to Munonyi? Atubulire. Oh, leave it there, leave it there. This is all the ladies. You get a brilliant man right here. Oh my gosh.
Can we move on?
Joel Senyonyi, Makerere University, 70%. Who are these who got 50?
Other students. But all these ones passed. There are those that got
Brian,
below
that's
that.
not fair.
We were 1,445, I think that's that. And over 70% of those failed.
Now you see this Daily Monitor. This needs to be on the front page.
That's what?
Monitors. NMG
Oh,
scribe
come on.
tops Makerere pre-entry exams.
Why is
Boom.
that supposed to be a big deal?
It's awesome. People fail. MPs are failing.
Okay, that's okay. Yes, pass.
You're,
Now let
you're
him go
nobody and you're
study.
passing. So this is awesome. Joel,
Okay,
congratulations.
moving on swiftly.
Congratulations, my friend. I hope you
You're
go
taking
and
me for
study.
dinner or what?
Tell your future.
So now you see when I don't come here early mornings and you know I'm adding value, so I have an excuse
You'll
already.
be petitioning. You're
Hey, now what vocabulary are you going to start using? As you
26 judges to dispose 118 MP poll petitions.
those are going to be your friends now. My amicus curiae, Joel Senyonyi. Good to see you, my friend.
What's your problem?
Oh my, I'm really impressed. Good for you.
Thank you. All right, the quote of the day, this is made by Minister John Nasasira on retirement from elective politics. He says, "Thank you for not sending me away through the ballot box. Nobody in Parliament has a better record of support than mine."
I was watching the memories of the ninth Parliament, and Honorable Nasasira was behind listening to Honorable Mama during the passing of the Public Order Management Bill, and he kept shaking his head, I think in disapproval. I don't know.
He watches this show ardently. The other day
Yeah.
he made one or two comments about something. So do you have any message for him? He watches this show ardently.
no comment.
No comment.
Let me take advantage of
But it's
my
good that he has
freedoms.
retired. I'm happy for him, even though maybe as a call to others, don't wait to be indisposed
That's true.
for you to retire.
I wanted to see if I could get some of the money that he's giving away.
You can go to his constituency, register and so on. He's giving
You know,
away
he's
about
giving
a
a
third
third
of his
or a
pension, which
third
is
of his
about 100
pension.
million. His pension
Which
is
is
over
a-
300
His
million.
pension is 100.
No.
300
million.
and he's giving
He
away
has been an
100
MP
million.
since when?
89.
There you are.
And some of us are going to work for But he has really
That's just
worked.
pension.
That's such a long time, though.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, he has worked for long.
Good for him.
Good for him.
the man.
Tenor
Let's see how he
rested
keeps
over.
being valuable. Yeah, because sometimes you imagine when you're not in that house, you're not valuable. That's why people do anything and everything to keep there.
But people are still, you know, some kids, I'm told, still the answer comes with the Minister of Transport, and they still feel doctor.
He was for
you know.
donkeys years.
Yeah, he was.
You mentioned the other day Ruhakana Rugunda being Minister of Health. You know how
Yeah, some people think he's still Minister of Health. Yeah.
Well, some interesting news here. Minimum wage, the bill is in the final stages, and they are saying Uganda is set to set it at 6,000 per month. What do you think?
6,000. You know, we actually have a minimum wage which has never been rescinded. That's the one, if I remember correctly. Which, of course, is a no-brainer for today. But the challenge there has been, even as people keep calling on, you know, minimum wage and so on, I've heard the president say, and sometimes you see a point in what he says of, okay, if we had to set a minimum wage, shall we set a cross-cutting one? Or probably should we now set for every sector or that kind of thing? But I think this discussion should not die. We need to get to that point where we... Because you see, for goodness sake, the people who work in these flour factories, they earn, I don't know what, 10,000 shillings a month and that kind of thing. It's wrong.
The huge articles on Sinok and how Ugandans...
I wanted to say this. You know, when you're in the Western world, Europe, America, you find if you are a nanny or a caretaker, you are going to get, let's say, maybe $8 an hour. If you're in someone's home. If you go to McDonald's, you'll probably also get $8 an hour. But here, how would we do it? Because it would be very hard, I would imagine, for us to help people who stay at our homes the same amount we are literally earning at the jobs.
First grow your economy, then you can begin. But at least begin with the bare
Then we can
basics.
pay an hour.
For goodness sake, why do you have a
Oh,
maid
not
that you
exactly
pay
an hour.
25,000, 30,000 shillings?
Why would
Maid
you
in
what?
this- People pay their maids 25,000.
But if you're not
they
in
use the excuse
Kampala-
of, you see, she eats my food. You know, she uses my toilet. Are you high?
The maid stays at home. If the kids are at school, the maid stays at
So
home.
for all the work she does, she
watches
deserves
TV,
25,000.
and does not just watch TV, watches DSTV.
Switch it off.
Number 3, she brings her border guy into my
That's
house.
wrong. That's a different case altogether.
Yes, so
Deal
we have
with
to
it.
charge.
But if they're not in Kampala, where if you're like farther away from Kampala, where you know you probably aren't buying food.
What are you saying?
What do you
Because if you have food just in the garden, you just go and pluck your bunch of matoke. I'm just asking you.
No, but
because
I
you're
think
saying
it-
25,000 is very low,
I
30,000.
think it is.
Ideally it is, because you guys just go and have juice at Javas of what, 15k, and then top it up
No,
with
you
some
would say
price.
that
This is
you
somebody
just
that you're
because
entrusting with your
For me,
baby,
I
with
think-
your life, the food that you eat. You don't know what is therein, and you pay them 25.
It is low.
I guess it
Whether
depends
we-
on the kind of work they are doing.
Yeah,
Well,
it-
Askaris, how much
Well,
do they get?
we can argue about that, but
So
there you
the
go.
truth is it is low, and some women, some women are very mean to these maids. So whether we say the maids are bad, but we kind
So they
of
top up
also-
the 25k with slaps
Man,
bonus.
it's bad. But also, I think these people, this was a good call. 10 arrested over polio immunization. We know some people who belong
Oh,
to
yeah.
cults.
By the way.
Yeah.
What?
Hogwash.
Forgive my
Poppycock.
friend. Bollocks is this.
Baloney. Okay, bollocks is.
Oh my
you know.
goodness. Because of a stupid religion, I don't care what you believe in. If your religion
If
tells
it
you not
was
to
your
treat
belief.
people, trash that thing.
But if it was your belief,
What belief?
if it
That
was
when they get
your
immunized,
belief,
they go to hell.
just
So how people
because
need
you
to be
don't
sensitized.
believe
Look,
that.
incidentally, I cannot blame them 100%. Look, there are societies in this country which still walk naked. For them, really, that's the truth. They've not gotten civilized, they've not gotten advanced. That's the case for most of these. So we need to sensitize them. Because they are so convinced about this modern medicine, it messes them up and stuff. We need to sensitize them enough.
Right.
You know, I think it's important. Besides saying you're stupid, you're silly, let's, you know. No.
I like what the
sensitization should happen.
Nigerians did. What they asked all the chiefs, because you know that's how we are in Africa.
Exactly.
We believe in, you know, our leaders, respect them. The LC one. So what
Now
they
that's
did,
sensitization.
they
Don't
got the
arrest
chiefs,
them, beat
they
them.
immunized the chiefs. The chiefs, you know, said, okay, let's immunize when our people can see us, and then obviously we won't die. then,
So other people follow suit.
That's how World Health
Monkey see,
Organization
monkey
was,
do.
was supposed to register that.
I like this as you cross over. Nicholas Sengover writes and asks why 10th Parliament will be a quote-unquote department of State House. It has begun, because if we are going to determine your leader from SEC, the State House, we are clearly sending you a message.
I just want to say this. Alan Kajina has spent 1 year at URA. UNRA, I beg your pardon. Leicester. Can we end with Leicester and what they have?
Let's first talk about Kajina, you guys. There was a suggestion that I think KCCA should actually give some roads to UNRA because they have failed to do that. And people are advising Jen Pharmacy to just surrender some of these roads to UNRA because they seem to have more expertise. They have the technical capacity, and KCCA is just not cutting it.
Do you know what bothers me? It rains for a few weeks, and then the potholes that just spring up, like Old Kira Road. If you use it now, it's horrible. And even now coming into work today, I don't know where you passed, but the amount of water, and then, I don't know.
But the water is so powerful. Back in some years, in some of those totalitarian countries, they would torture and kill people. So what would happen is they would make you lie, and then they would have a flow of water, and it would be dripping, just a drip, tap, here, tap, 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 and within about, what, 48 hours or so, your skull has cracked. Just drip. But anyway, you even see that on people's verandas, where water keeps dripping. You see those, that is concrete, which is a lot harder than your skull. So
some critical numbers here. The number of staff at UNRA has literally doubled. Well, from 915 to 1,740.
Well, that has not just doubled. It has.
Yeah, if you get, I think, a great manager, your pay obviously doubles. Amount of money UNRA gets for the maintenance of 17,000 kilometers is 264 billion shillings. So you can read about. We won't preempt what is in it. Go grab yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor. Read about the 1 year of Kajina at UNRA. Of course, the big news is Leicester are now Premier League champions.
Ah, they won.
Yeah.
They won yesterday, and like I said earlier, Kim Kardashian had the odds of her becoming president were higher. President of the US were higher than Leicester winning the Premiership.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Wait, there's Premier League and then there's Champions League.
Champions League.
So that's what is coming.
The Champions League is tonight.
Yeah, but then
it's just one match.
Well, it's a return, home and away. So.
This is one of the greatest, Joel, let us educate you, one of the greatest sporting achievements ever.
Which one? For Leicester?
Leicester to win. They were at the bottom of the club, of the league. I mean, a few years ago, they were not even in the league, and they have managed to do this. And Simon yesterday mentioned voodoo, African voodoo, but the owner is actually a Thai businessman, and he has gone around renovating temples and supporting monks in the town of Leicester. So I don't know if it's
some
Asian
blessings
voodoo. But clearly Leicester has done something. Everyone's going to be talking about them, trying to study them. What have they done? I don't know what happens
Everyone
to
in Thailand.
from here.
We're told the jerseys for Leicester are sold out in Thailand. Sold out. So it's really good. I was telling some Man U fans, Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans, if you're sad that your team has not won the Premier League, you're just a silly fan.
No, everyone is happy.
This is, we should celebrate Liverpool. I mean, Leicester, they've done an amazing job. And I think one day we shall celebrate Uganda taking the World Cup. I mean,
I want to say that amen with action. You see, I try, but I like to take action.
Don't ask for money. Okay,
see, I don't press it in my home, God make me rich. Then I pull the blanket. Even the Bible says you are a fool when you do that. So we want to win the World Cup, just do certain things that those who win do.
All right, as we wrap this up, get the Rainbow Magazine for the kids. And yeah, there's some people that elect their prefects. Were you a prefect? You can find out.
And they use toffees and sweets and what? It's corruption.
Let's take a breather. When we come back, the big stories.
You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji and Brian Mulondo.
NTV is giving you an opportunity to get discovered. Be the next big screen star. Are you an actor or an actress or have dreams to become one? Well, here is the biggest chance to fulfill that dream. Take a picture of yourself and tell us what makes you stand out. Then hashtag discover me on any of our social media pages. We are watching and we want to discover you.
I use the 500 shillings daily bundle. I use the monthly bundle with 1 GB data.
Wait! Africell has all internet bundles.
Really?
Yes, all internet bundles from 10 MB to 100 GB from 1 hour to 1 year on the widest coverage at the cheapest price ever.
Wow! Dial *133# now and select the bundle you need with the fastest speed and the best quality.
So Africell is really the king of the bundles.
This is you. Your friends. Your family. Your fellow Ugandans. All are rising. Because when people get information that is incisive, in-depth, and analytical, people take action. People create change. NTV News. Moving Uganda.
Ekifo ekimu kisawa musu. N'ekyalo ekiweddeko abamanye bakiraza mumwa. Tugenda kutuuka gy'oli oyogere naffe ebikwata ku kyalo kyo, embeera mw'okolera, ebyobufuzi, ebyobulamu n'ensonga endala nnyingi. Ebyogerwa tebiyita. Tuusa eddoboozi lyo. Yogera naffe. Buli Lwakuna butereevu ku NTV akawungeezi.
The rewards are greater when we come together. With the Pamoja Bonus Save account from Barclays, as the number of people opening an account grows, so does the interest rate. Find out more. Speak to us today.
It was you moron. Your voice is heard on that video. You sent out that video to ruin my reputation, you idiot! To destroy me! That's what you sent it for!
You deserve it for doing something so horrible to Rebecca!
That horrible thing to Rebecca, I'll do something up.
What's going on? Javier! Let Emilio go! Let him go!
He labeled me as a delinquent for everyone to see, the bastard!
Emilio, please! Enough, stop, leave!
You can bring everybody in parliament as long as they can wake up and vote for their NRM.
As long as the voters exercise their rights to elect their leaders, there was no need for term limits in Uganda.
I know him. I know how he operates. I know how he thinks.
There are ways you can go around these obstacles.
Why should I conduct myself as if I am Muyai?
It's absolutely true. I admired the President Museveni.
Is the ICC a farcical code targeting African leaders?
You cannot tell me that the whole trouble Kenya had revolved about only 2 individuals.
The money is not in the budget of this financial year.
You can't beat God. You see, God is polygamous also. Look at Jeremiah chapter 31.
The security of this country will largely depend on the contribution that the people make.
You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji, and Brian Mulondo.
Today we mark World Press Freedom Day. That's a very exciting day for a person like me in this trade, but it's a day that we get to recollect, to think, to take stock of a couple of things that have happened to we in this business. Also, on the other end, we want to see how can we improve. It's important, even as we take jabs at those that have stifled us and done everything evil to us. What are we doing, we in the Fourth Estate, to get better? That's coming up on The Big Story. All right, joining me on the big story are two gentlemen that have been in this game for quite a bit of time. One a lot longer than us, Charles Odobo Bichachi. He's the managing editor of Weeklies, that is Daily Monitor. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we have Robert Sempala. Robert Sempala is, I don't know whether they call you CEO, president, managing director, those interesting titles, but he's from the Uganda Human Rights Network for Journalists. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Joel, and I'm the national coordinator.
National coordinator. You're trying to be humble. And,
yes.
All right, let me begin with you, Robert. Taking stock, you people decided that we are going to fight for the human rights of journalists in this country. How are we doing in that particular field as a country?
We're faring badly because as per the international rankings, we have backtracked by 7 positions, and that doesn't spell well for the industry. But also we have increased number of cases against journalists. Some seem to be deliberate, because we seem to understand when there is like a mistake being committed, mistaken identity like that. But when journalists are being targeted while in the field or on the line of duty, then we cannot have an excuse. So we certainly see that the media spaces are being continuously and consistently being closed down. There are lots of prohibitive and restrictive legislations made towards that front of closing down the spaces for free and critical media. You have political interference with editorial policies of so many media houses. You have a lot of self-censorship and fear gripping all media houses across the country, not to comment about very sensitive national issues that are supposed to be issues of the day for people to get involved in and discuss and determine their fate. The media plays a very critical role in entrenching democracy, and we certainly see that this fourth estate in Uganda is not being given the chance, to grow. It's at the helm of politicians. A lot comes with our media industry, where you have a majority of the media owners as politicians, as business people who have openly confessed their support for a ruling party, and that has a very big chilling effect on the editorial policy, what issues they can cover about, who they can give a platform to say what, when and where, and how often can that be done. So in our bid to secure our operating environments, we have an uphill task, and we're sure that everyone that is in this trade is feeling the pinch.
Charles has raised his talk. He used a couple of words that I'd like to pick up on: prohibitive, censorship, state interference, etc., etc. And that brings to mind the Communications Bill, the amended one for 2016, that has raised quite a bit of dust. Talk to us about that bill and why we should be concerned.
That bill, actually there's just one clause which they want to change, meaning that they want to remove the words approval of parliament. That essentially that a minister can make subsidiary legislation without referring them to parliament. Now what that means is that the legislative role will, as far as that sector is concerned, will go to the minister. So the parliament will have no way of regulating, and we will not be able to interface and influence the legislation. That has the potential to curtail freedom of the press. You saw the minister can make a decree and say this we will not allow outside broadcasting, for instance, and that is it.
It becomes law.
There will be no debate. It becomes law. So, in as far as that bill is concerned, it seeks to put a lot of power in the minister's hand, and which power can easily be abused. So, we don't want a situation where one person or two people determine what the industry should do.
Robert, you raised critical issues that have been happening to we in the media. We have been muzzled, our rights have been abused, we have been beaten. But for some reason, these things keep happening. Is it that maybe we in the media are not doing enough to highlight these issues? We are not doing enough to fight for our space? Or could it be that the totalitarian hand that keeps doing these things is having a tight grip on us? But me, I'm more interested on the responsibility on our part. Why do we not seem, and me being guilty too, we don't seem to be doing enough? Because you're saying we are plunging, we keep going down. That's worrisome.
It's very worrisome, but the last one, the third one, to me, holds more water. You know, somebody holding grip of the media, wanting to control all the spaces. Certainly, I don't know how much should be done by the media practitioners ourselves, because we are...
Or maybe as a society, you know,
as
media
society.
consumers too, people that watch us. Or
because for us, as individuals, we're armed with pens, notebooks, microphones, and cameras. And the people who are hell-bent on crossing these spaces are armed to teeth. They tell you, no crossing this line, no covering in Kasangati because you're inciting violence. Even when you insist and stamp down your feet to say we have a right to be here and we'll cover news as it happens, they will certainly, wrap you up, bangle you into that notorious van and drive you away and release you later when news has just been, washed away. So what do you do to such a situation? But to continue, mobilizing ourselves, because it is going to be the numbers that are going to count in this trade. And I'm very happy to say that we actually now are constituting some degree of critical mass that is becoming a force to reckon with. When you have our seniors, the Bichachis here coming to say, look, this is dangerous. When you have a number of media rights organizations, and human rights organizations coming up to say, the media here is facing the heat of Big Brother. Big Brother in here, I mean the CEO of this country. So you think that that is the spaces we can utilize. We can appeal to the international community, the donor community, and we can also, in our own humble selves, speak out our voices. Because what do you do if you work for a radio station that is owned by a minister, who sits in the cabinet and, they pass decrees, like I say decrees, I mean decrees, not laws from parliament. All you can do is to say, we'll participate in a peaceful procession to demonstrate our dissatisfaction. And even when you do that, they will wrap you up and arrest you. I did that in 2015, on the 13th of January, when one of our colleagues, Andrew Rangao, was brutally assaulted, and the officer in charge retained his office and he continued being the DPC of Old Kampala. So we couldn't stomach that. We said, let us, in our humble selves, just show this pressure and participate into a peaceful procession. And what happens along Ginger Road police station? They wrap us up, tear you into pieces, shirts being torn, your documents being taken away. You have about 6 guys just muzzling you. You can't even breathe. And before you know it all, you whisked away and seated in a comfortable office of a police officer. So what we can do is to continue revising that this is what we have to do. Keep very professional, and I'm very happy on that front that a number of media or human rights organizations or media development organizations are doing inroads into building the capacities of media players on a regular basis. Before, you would hardly see degree holders in this trade. But now, even when Parliament had this restrictive regulation, yes, a couple of journalists submitted and they're in there to cover Parliament. So we have critical mass. I'm very happy to say that. But most importantly, now we have to appeal to the media owners, to join this fight, not just in the background, but at the front line.
You talk about media owners, and I'd like to lump that up with not just the media owners, but managers and so on. Because you see, while journalists and media practitioners are being, on a very large scale, abused by the state, the police, and so on, there are the other abusers. And those are media owners, those are managers. Thankfully, not where I work, where you work, but there are media houses in this country. Journalists are paid, I don't know, some I understand 500 shillings for a story. They're sent out to go and work. They're not paid for months on end. The conditions under which they work are very deplorable. I think that's abuse. So while we point fingers at the state and so on, we should be flashing the torch on us and saying, wait a minute, are we not doing the same thing we are accusing these people for?
Yeah, clearly, of course, the working conditions for journalists are very important in as much as the environment in which we work in. So it's important that all media houses are able to facilitate their journalists well, so that they don't expose them to, unnecessary factors out there, whereby we've had situations where if somebody is not paid, then they are going to be tempted to actually get paid from the field. So that's something that we need to work out as media, Of course, this affects mostly the small media, which he has said, which are run unprofessionally. So it's important that as media, we also work on our professionalism and our management so that we are able to facilitate and give protection to our journalists.
Robert, when we hear you people fight for the rights of journalists, and that's incredible, some people feel that not enough attention is being paid on what he's talking about, the professionalism of journalists. And here, I'll now even get to the individual. That as an individual, I'll choose to add value. That as an individual, I'll seek to write the truth, to speak the truth. Much of the time, all that is negated. We operate in a very reckless manner. And well, I've had some people say, well, maybe even the beatings are self-invited, which I think is a foolish statement to make. But we don't seem to be also on the one end doing enough as individual journalists to add value to ourselves, to get better, to research. Journalists in this country on a large scale don't read. We are just happy that I can write. We are just happy that I have a TV show and I can speak. So I'll say whatever I want to. I'll write whatever I want to. And it passes.
Yeah, that is a very big problem as well, and I want to agree with you. But the blame goes back to the one who grants licenses to a media house to operate. Do they follow us down to the field to see how we use these licenses?
But when they choose to follow us down, then we are saying they're being high-handed.
No, you know, you want to know how NTV, for instance, is paying its employees. Yeah, how regular their salary is going out. And the workload, most of these guys are paid per story, piece rate. Yeah? So you have to file as many stories as humanly possible, over and above quality to many reporters. And this is about taking home a package for themselves. They're not even given retainer allowances, that if you do not file 2 stories in a month, you do not get anything paid. But that is not an excuse. I think the onus is on us, the individual players in this industry, to really keep making ourselves more relevant to the situations. You know, some lecturers, for instance, were born before computer. And a few things now have happened. You can't continue lamenting that I do not know how to place this and that. For instance, when I went to school, I was taught on a Macintosh, not a desktop computer, because it wasn't anywhere. And when I came to the field, I've never interacted with a Macintosh. Yet I used to do it, and the typewriter. So these are trends that we must adopt to as players in this industry. And I also want to defeat the explanation that there are no efforts to professionalize the industry. The problem is massive labor turnover. You have so many of your best going away as public relations officers, as spokespersons, as events managers, because they see there's greener pastures elsewhere over and above the media industry. So we have to address the issue of remuneration and welfare of the journalists before we can even think of professionalization. Because we have so many that graduate in this industry, mass communication and journalism. At the end of the day, after 2 years, and they have gotten connections, they're out in maybe agriculture, forestry, managing things, yes, that are very relevant to this country, but are not a feedback to the industry that they professionalize in. So you really have to address squarely the problem. How are journalists being paid? Who cares for their welfare? Are they at the mercy of Robert Sempala, who owns a media house, and his sole purpose for owning this media house is to campaign and win elections? And beyond that, it's up to you. For instance, in the north, there is a TV station which has a person as the manager, as the head of programs, as the chief marketing officer of this station, and goes to air to present about 4 shows in a day. And this person goes to the field to fish for news. And she is there, but going unpaid for about 3-4 months. And this is a problem we grapple with at office. How do we address this concern now? So there is a lot beyond what meets the eye if we must really talk of professionalizing this industry.
Incredible. Charles, let me ask you a basic question, but maybe it isn't. Okay. Who is a journalist?
I think that is an old question that I don't know whether I can say definitely who is a journalist, but I can perhaps tell you what journalists do.
So clearly it's not a basic question.
Yeah, it's not, because journalism is a profession that has evolved. It's just getting more professionalized, but initially it started off as a communication. And you have one person able to communicate to the masses. using different modes. Now those modes have evolved over time. So today, for instance, previously you only had the press, and in fact there were newsletters, you know, people writing. That was how big it was. Next you have, now today you have people who are blogging. They are communicating. So it's very difficult for us to say precisely that this is the definition of a journalist. But we know that somebody who plies the trade, somebody who communicates professionally, who subscribes to the tenets of the media profession, that should be a journalist.
Interesting. I hope that has sunk in, you know, because you see nowadays the challenge that is anybody grabs a camera and they're able to do one or two things, they are a journalist and so on. But tethered to that, Robert, we as journalists in this country, and I'll be very blunt about this, are not very organized. The lawyers are organized, and that is why they're able to come together and say no to this and say yes to this. The engineers are organized, the architects and so on. But we in the media, maybe that is why all these things happen to us, and we don't have recourse, we don't speak as one voice. When we have elections, we are beating up each other and so on. When there is, you know, a semblance of this association, for some reason it is not quite working, not everybody subscribes to it. How do we transcend these things? I think it is important if we are to achieve what we are looking for the space.
Somebody benefits from the disorganization that is characterizing the media in this country. If you have an association of journalists that is national in nature, but you want to control how leaders are ushered into that office, who participates in elections, and what they do during their tenure in office, has a far-reaching implication on organizing the media as a whole. If somebody says, however disorganized you are, as long as you confess your reality to a pattern political, thought in the country, you are well placed. You also have media associations or organizations that are entirely selfish in nature, you know, looking at satisfying very petty individual and selfish interests. That also works to our disadvantage. But what we practically can do, and we're already making some steps towards that, is trying to galvanize the different media organizations and associations in the country and, you know, constitute them into one big critical voice. It is a very big hurdle for us to pass, but we're trying to make inroads. For instance, you go to a region, say Western Uganda, and you talk of this organization only to go back to, you know, make an impromptu visit to this office. You find there are no weighted papers, there are no stamps, there are no staff, they have never had a meeting in 1-2 years. And when you meet in conferences, locally and internationally, this person will say, I am so and so, and come from this area, and we do ABCD. We, meaning himself or herself. So you have a very big challenge which needs to be addressed by the likes of Bichachi, who practically control the biggest share of the media, the Vision Group, the Nation Media Group, because these ones employ more of us and they can choose to organize us or disorganize us. HRNJ has labored its best, but what else can you do if the Bichachis are saying, that's not our priority area. Our priority area is writing so many stories, is being number one in this country. The rest is history. They do not really trickle down to ourselves and so much.
Is it a priority area for you?
Obviously, it's a priority for anybody who is in this profession to ensure that we are well organized. Unfortunately, I think, like he has said, the problem is ourselves. And we have failed to come together and address our mutual interest. So we have a situation where the big media houses, you know, with still many journalists, and then you have the other journalists who are outside the bigger, you know, groups, all organizing parallel. What the state tried to do in terms of forming NIJU was a good idea, but which was not done well. It is something that we need to work out. We have had meetings, we have had discussions about us coming together, forming an independent media council. All that has failed to happen. And then when you look at the organization, the Uganda Journalists Organization, like you said, they are briefcase organization. That many of them are registered to pursue personal interests. You find one organization which is registered as a limited liability company, and it's registered, it is supposed to be a journalist association. So you have those who own it, and then you have those who are supposed to rotate around it. Now, a situation like that, organizations like this can't grow, because then a lot of journalists will pull out of them. They will not participate in them. So that is the dilemma we have. I think we cannot let this go on for too long, because then that's how many other players are taking advantage. So we must get ourselves together, and we must start pursuing some professional organization that is devoid of, and where you have transitions, where people come and go, but you don't have this life ownership of executives that stay, and then they will rig elections, internal elections, and then we are here shouting that you see the politicians are rigging elections when we are doing the same things in our organization. So yes, we need to look back, we need to look inwards, and we need to do something for ourselves.
Robert, I know you have been engaging the state, for quite a bit of time, your organization and so on. Is there fruit? Do we see light at the end of this tunnel, as far as our human rights are concerned, the issues that you're raising? Do you feel this engagement is bearing fruit at all?
We may not be given, but we might take what belongs to us. Yeah?
We have failed to take it for donkey's years.
Yes. But the momentum is gaining by the day, I must tell you. Because before then, you'd hardly see ministers gain flair with media leader organizations or leaders. You would really beat a journalist in their death sometimes, and no one speaks about it. But today, it's going to be the story of the day everywhere. You really feel that with such a critical mass being created, the state or the ministers responsible or whoever is in there will have no choice but to choose how to best work with us. We are in court, of course, opposing so many draconian legislations, and that will result into a friendly legal framework for the media to operate. So you see some light at the end of the tunnel. Even the fact that journalists are being now more enthusiastic about their work. You really see that there is a lot of enthusiasm on the part of journalists. You tell them we're going to be at court today, there is a case, there is a trial for this perpetrator, and you will see so many cameras around, and journalists will be asking about the progress and so much. So we have to continue, asserting our position and, working on and on and on. Certainly at some point we're going to come into convergence with our desired target. This, I have no doubt about this. And deep inside my heart, I feel that it's going to be one time when the media is going to win. There is one guy, one former editor of the Vision Group who was called, is it someone?
On a picture.
We did a documentary called The Unwanted Witness. And he said, whoever has followed the media has had a very bad ending.
Oh.
And I really
Let's wait for that ending, and hopefully it will be a good ending. But finally, Charles, how long have you been a journalist?
Since 94.
1994.
Yeah.
That's about 22 years now. What nugget can you share to those that are young at this, that are trying to, maneuver their way through?
Well, I think the thing that I would tell everybody who is trying to come up in the trade is, one, just to be, it's a difficult business, but one needs
it's scaring us now.
No. Everything is difficult. One needs to be persistent, and one needs to be, transparent in whatever they do, because a lot of our colleagues have fallen because along the way they kind of lost track of what their role is supposed to be. So stick to your role, stick to what you are supposed to do, and just be an honest person, and that is it. I think
incredible
that is
insights
what,
there.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a bunch, gentlemen, for joining me, Charles Bichachi and Robert Sempala. Did Andrew Rwanga get that money from the president?
It was paid to the hospital. He went in there, but he has since...
Is he okay now?
No, he's not very okay. Actually, we were planning for him to have some specialized treatment outside of the country. He has had an opportunity to go somewhere, come back, and I think now he's getting to his feet a little, because now he moves without, do we call them diapers or stuff like that? Yes, before he used to put them on regularly. He would sit with his back just leaning in the chairs. But now we are forced to sit for some time before he chooses.
There's a bit of progress.
So there's a bit of progress, but it's been really a
Let's push so that things get a lot better. Okay. My time is up. Thank you, gentlemen. Coming up is my opinion. Difficult trade without a doubt. You've got to sleep a lot less, you get beaten many a time, you've got to do a lot of research, but it's something that we are passionate about. Little wonder we have chosen to do this. And look, as we apply this our fourth estate trade, I think it's important that the others who are supposed to be partners see us as such and not as enemies. We are not out to get you. Maybe we are sometimes, but that can only mean you're doing some things wrong. It's important that the fourth estate be seen as partners in making this country get better. Look, countries that have developed, it is because they have robust medias, they have media houses that will look the state in the eyes and say, this is wrong, you need to improve here. They illuminate these things out there. That's very important. And for my colleagues in this trade, let's add value. That's very important. We need to add value. We need to cross every T, dot every I. We need to be honest, like Charles said. We need to be truthful. That's important, and let's add value. It does you no harm to go and do another course, to go and, I don't know, it might not even be an accredited one, to do some reading. That's very important, so we can be on top of our game. And that's it for the big story today. Thank you for joining us. My name is Joel Senyonyi. Coming up in a bit is Everyday Life.
You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji, and Brian Mulondo.
This is you. Your friends. Your family. Your fellow Ugandans. All arising. Because when people get information that is incisive, in-depth, and analytical, people take action. People create change. NTV News. Moving Uganda.
I'm loving your love, baby. I got a weakness for sweetness. No, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get not free. You're a ghost. This can't be. Ooh, la, la, la. It's the way that we rock when we doing our thing. Ooh, la, la, la. It's the natural law that the refugees bring. Ooh, la, 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 la.
You can now become an exclusive MTV reporter on the go. With the NTV Go mobile app, you can create news by capturing and sharing content instantly. Simply download the NTV Go app on Google Play Store. Go to the N Reporter feature and start reporting as the news happens. We will air your story on a special TV program. NTV Go also allows you to watch news, instant live updates, and follow your favorite show from the comfort of your home, taxi, or your favorite kafunda. Download NTV Go app now from Play Store.
Purple Party! Barara, are you ready? The Purple Party is coming to your town at the Heat Bar in Barara. One night, 2 DJs, an exclusive purple carpet, and lots of giveaways. It's the Purple Party featuring the Spin Doctor DJ Shiru, Winnie Nwangi, Ziza Bapana. Entrance is just 10,000 shillings and the event is hosted by NTV's Douglas Rwanga. The Purple Party Tour is coming to your town and it's powered by Spark TV, NTV.
Isa yalagula Yesu ngali je mabega. Akali mu mufunzi.
Yesu ne Isa ani yasookawo munne.
Isa.
Buli lwotayogera na muntu kutegeera bimukwata kutosobola kumutegeera yenna tekisoboka.
Era edako yakatugamba nti Abaganda
mbwanyala jakasukira eggumba gyegenda kale akagamba ako kano
obote wateekwa okubaawo eddoboozi abantu lye bakozesa eddoboozi abantu lye bakozesa okutuusa okunnyonnyola kwabwe okutegeerekeka okutangaza bye bakwatako Conqueror of the British Empire. Naye nga waka mubimuyita waka mwamuyitanga mutya
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy kuwuliriza kufumiitiriza kukola kwogera bina
Tuwaye
bwe yamala okutuula ngenda okutunula mu kibatu kyange kino kyentaddeko bwendi nga muvaamu ebiwuka ng'ensolosozi
ebimu byewuunyisa binakuwaza ebirala bikyusa obulamu
omuntu atasomye atya n'okuyingira ofiisi naye ng'omanyi nti nina omukyala n'abaana awaka nakinkola nina ne bizinesi naye ntya n'okuyingira ofiisi eno okwennyonnyolako
yeddoboozi lyenjogerako tuwaye
Bro. A promise of brotherhood. Oh no, you're burning up! JR! My brother's going to be fine, right? You can adopt the two of us.
Your brother can be adopted, but I'm going to have a hard time with you.
Gail! Are you selling me, bro, huh? Yes, I am, because you were such a burden to me. Separated by tragedy, life will push them farther apart. One grows up in wealth and power, and the other strives hard for his family.
Coming through!
Their love for one woman will bridge them again.
How much are you?
Pardon?
$2,000? 4,000?
Should I be impressed with your question?
Mia, there's nothing money can't buy.
Hey, sir, you know I can take the wheel if you want some thrill.
Mia!
This is as far as I go, sir.
Mia, what are you doing?
Not all women have a price. Bridges of love.
You don't have to look any further. Get online and you'll get any property.
It's all about joinery. How best do you give a tree a very good second life?
Because there's already development happening around.
Say, for example, carpets. Pick luxurious carpet and you say, I've got to have a carpet wall-to-wall in my house. But we're a hot country.
Welcome to the Property Show, where we make real estate sense.
You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji and Brian Mulondo.
Thank you for choosing Morning at NTV this third day of May 2016, a day that happens to be World Press Freedom Day, a story that Joel was looking at on The Big Story. Today we also, if you're born this day, we do wish you a happy birthday. You share your birthday with James Brown, who was very popular for this song, I Feel Good. is a wet day here in Kampala, but wherever you are watching from, welcome to Everyday Life on Morning at NTV. James Brown, who died in 2006, so he was born this day. Well, today on Everyday Life, we will be talking to someone from UNBS, Uganda National Bureau of Standards. They recently launched a mobile phone e-verification program that is to help agriculturalists. We'll be talking to the project manager right after this.
Star Times.
Once again, we are glad to have your company here on Morning at NTV. Joining me today is Ronnie Nganwa, the project director, program director of UNBS for this e-tax mobile phone, not e-tax, e-verification program that we're talking about. Good morning and welcome to Morning at NTV.
Good morning, Mabel.
How are you doing
today? Thank you for having me here.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Tell us, what is this that you have just recently launched, this mobile phone e-verification?
E-verification is a system that government has put in place to assist or to empower our consumers and our manufacturers to verify products on the market. You see, right now, it's not possible for a consumer to come into your shop, buy a product, and then conclusively know whether or not it is an original product or not. We have a lot of cases of counterfeits, as you know, over 30% of our market. In some cases, over 60% of the products on our market are forged.
That's a staggering figure.
It is so bad. The figures are so high. You wouldn't believe that you know, we are exposed to all this kind of crap on the market. But that's what the situation is at the moment.
Now you are from the standards body. How can you allow this to happen? 60%.
No, we don't allow it to happen.
And the fact that you are aware that it's so high.
No, UNBS doesn't allow this to happen.
Okay.
But it's mainly because of constraints. There are so many constraints that the body faces, both in terms of manpower, in terms of resources, and there's a lot of stuff. But UNBS does its best. The only thing that we are facing is the, what do I call it, ambitious nature of these counterfeiters. They are so unrelenting. We have put in place so many measures. There is PVOC, there is surveillance teams all over the place. We have enforcement teams all around the country. We have regional offices in Mbarara, in the north, in the east, and so on. But these people are so unrelenting. And we try our best, and I think at the end of the day, we're doing a good job. We're doing a good job. But we need better methods of enforcement and surveillance.
Okay. Yeah. Today we are talking about agro inputs. Give us a breakdown. What are those?
All right. Now, USAID, under its Feed the Future program, came up with an idea of helping farmers verify products that, or the seeds, agro inputs that they're buying. Not only the seeds, but also agrochemicals, you know, weed, pesticides and weedicides and so on. So they wanted to assist farmers to be able to conclusively verify whether or not what they're buying are actually genuine agro inputs. Because right now what happens is that when you go to a stockist, they're going to sell you products that may be in packaging that purports to be from, let's say, the original manufacturer of that agrochemical, or the company that packs the seeds. Now, in the process, some of these packagings are actually not from the original manufacturers. They're actually from people who hold out to be what they are not. And in the process, these farmers take home seeds that can't germinate. So instead of getting seeds, as my ED likes to say, they end up getting weeds. And at the end of the day, it is too late. And you see, with farming, there's always a very small window. Once you go to plant a week or two after the rains have started, it is too late. So if you discover that what you actually bought were fake seeds, more likely the planting season has
started.
Has passed by. So that season is gone. You're not going to be able to recover that loss. It is gone until the next season. So what we want to do now is to ensure that before the farmer plants that seed, before he puts that seed in the soil, he should be able to verify conclusively using this electronic verification system to determine whether or not that seed is actually from the original or the bona fide manufacturer and not a counterfeiter.
Okay.
So if it is a fake seed, he's going to, of course, immediately take remedial action on the spot, unlike right now where he has to wait until it is too late.
Okay, let's first understand how it works before we get into the remedial action. So, yes, you go into a shop. You want to buy fertilizers, pesticides, and seeds as part of your business.
Yes. So you want to buy seeds.
Yes.
Your farmer X from, let us say, Kitgum. You've bought your seeds down here at a container village. That's where most of our seeds are sold.
Yes.
Our agro inputs. So you at the shop. Now what happens is that we have given these companies, the seed companies, most of them actually, we have given them tags, the small stickers that they place onto their products. So once the product is on the shelf, the farmer gets hold of the packaging, scratches off, and reveals a 14-digit code. Now that 14-digit code is generated from UNBS, and it is only verifiable on the UNBS verification channel, which is 114. So this farmer is going to dial *114# or *114* followed by the 14-digit code and then hash, and then send that number to UNBS. Now our computers at UNBS are then going to process that code, and after it is processed, if it is genuine, he is going to receive a message stating that he has just bought a product that is certified by MAIF. Please be cognizant of this fact that it is MAIF that helps set standards and enforces standards. It is the enforcement agency. We're just coming in to help and feed the future. But this program is now being rolled out also to the general fast-moving goods sector, like, you know, water, juices, and cement. But we have begun with agriculture as a pilot scheme.
Okay, that's good to know, because I'm sure so many people are wondering, there are so many fake goods out there. Why don't you start with those? Why are you starting with seeds? But this is a pilot.
Oh, yeah, this is a pilot that is being financed by USAID. And it's going to help us learn a lot of lessons that we shall bring to the fast-moving goods sector. So when we eventually start, which is very, very soon, because companies are now enrolling, when companies are enrolling onto the program, once it starts, we'll be able to give you a very, very wholesome service with the lessons learned from agriculture. But as we say, trial is better than you know what I mean. Okay. So we are at this trial stage.
Yeah, the trial stage.
We are doing so well. Farmers up country are going to start receiving their their tagged products beginning next season. The companies have received their
When
codes.
is next season? Which month?
Next season is around August, something like that. August, I think. You know, the rains are not so...
Well, it's raining now in Kampala.
It's raining now, so yeah.
It has been raining for the last couple of weeks.
Yes, yes.
But I wanted to ask, going back again, you said they sent this number. Does this happen when the person is still in the shop? And will they get an instant message back?
Yeah, it happens at the point of sale. Yes,
okay.
At the point of sale. So what happens is that when you buy your commodity at the shop, you scratch. If it is a fake product, because eventually we know, I mean, the counterfeiters are very, what do you call it?
You've said unrelenting.
You know, unrelenting. They're also going to start forging the what? the tags. You see, we're moving away from physical verification to electronic systems can't be fooled.
Yeah.
If you don't have access to the channel, to the UNBS channel 114, you're out of the game. All you can do is try and forge something, but then once you forge a code, we are going to warn that consumer that what they are buying is invalid. And that person's number, the consumer's number, then gets red flagged at our coordination center at UNBS, and then we will call this person. But then they also
ask them which shop they were in,
so that UNBS can go there and do an enforcement and assessment of the goods in stock.
And is this going to be rolled out in the whole of in the whole of Uganda?
Wherever there is a mobile phone network, this service will be there.
Because I'm imagining with the variety of products, of seeds, of fertilizers, of agri-input, I know it's a long list of items under there.
Yes.
How practical will it be? That you get a message from, you know, you mentioned Kotido, from Kasese, from Masaka, from...
Practical in terms of enforcement?
Yes, I mean, you'll be if you're getting red flags everywhere. This is a fake, you know, sample was here, fake goods were here, fake seeds, fake fertilizers.
Yes. Now there's of course an issue of enforcement. So what UNBS has done is to come in and then work with other sister organizations like local governments. We're going to work with KCCA. We are looking at options, just like we're working with MAIV. We can't do this in isolation. It has to be a concerted effort. So we are empowering not only UNBS and the consumers, but also our local authorities to be able to enforce at that level. So UNBS of course can't be everywhere and enforce all these. Yeah, but then we're going to work hand in hand with sister enforcement agencies, the police, ISO, and all that. Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned this is a mobile phone, you know, application.
Yes.
What about those without mobile phones? How will this work, or those probably without smartphones? Can this application work with a Katochi, for instance?
This application, so long as you have anything that can connect to a mobile phone network, whether it's a Katochi of 30,000, whether it's a smartphone, we have options for all of you. For those with smartphones, we even have Android, what's called an Android app.
Yes.
Android.
Yes.
An app that is being developed. We have an online platform that is www.unbsetag.go. So if you go there, you'll be able to, and if you go there and input that 14-digit code, you'll be able to get a response from UNBS in real time. So this business of guesswork is no longer there. Enforcement agencies and for the consumers, you get to know in real time whether or not that product is original or fake. Right now, UNBS takes up 2 weeks doing tests on products to verify whether or not they are original or fake. And by that time, I mean, the goods in the shelves have been sold off. So by the time you come back, you have nothing to enforce. So it has been quite a hurdle, but now, in real time, you just go and verify. UNBS is warned, and we do what? We come and make an enforcement. Of course, we can't do all the enforcements, but we are going to do the best we can in the circumstances.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you, we have actually run out of time. Okay. Can you give us that email address again for those watching and those who are preparing for the next season, how they can contact you, UNBS, how, you know, and to get more information about this e-verification system?
You can go to our website. You can send us an email at etag@unbs.go.ug. We shall be we shall welcome you and help you out with your issues.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ronnie Nganwa from UNBS. Great news for farmers now. You can verify all the products you are buying. And for those who are waiting to, you know, to hack into this system, you will not be able to hack into this electronic system that has been devised by UNBS, and I guess with the Ministry of Agriculture as well, as you said. Well, Darren and Derek will be up next talking sport, and I must say big congratulations to Leicester, who took the Premiership title yesterday. I wish I was joining them on set to talk more about it and to understand, but I'm sure so many people will be asking that question. How did Leicester do it? Morning at NTV will continue.
time. Owagabiwo mu digital TV. For more information, call 117-117-700. Star Time, affordable digital television.
You're watching Morning at NTV.
This is you. Your friends. Your family. Your fellow Ugandans. All arising. Because when people get information that is incisive, in-depth, and analytical, people take action. People create change. NTV News. Moving Uganda.
I'm loving your love, baby. I got a weakness for sweetness. No, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a guy that can't get enough from you. You're a ghost. This can't be. Ooh la la la, it's the way that we rock when we doing our thing. Ooh la la la, it's the natural law that the refugees bring. Ooh la 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 la.
Well, as long as we're together, I'm fine with it, bro.
A promise of brotherhood.
Oh no, you're burning up! JR! My brother's going to be fine, right? You can adopt the two of us.
Your brother can be adopted, but I'm going to have a hard time with you.
Gail! Are you selling me, bro, huh? Yes, I am! Because you were such a burden to me.
Separated by tragedy, life will push them farther apart. One grows up in wealth and power, and the other strives hard for his family.
Coming through!
Their love for one woman will bridge them again.
How much are you?
Pardon?
$2,000? 4,000?
Should I be impressed with your question?
Mia, there's nothing money can't buy.
Hey, sir, you know I can take the wheel if you want some thrill.
Mia!
This is as far as I go, sir.
Mia, what are you doing?
Not all women have a price.
Bridges of love.
Isa yalagula Yesu ngali je mabega. Akali mu bufunzi.
Yesu ne Isa ani yasookawo munne.
Isa.
Buli lwotayogera na muntu kutegeera bimukwata kutosobola kumutegeera yenna. Tekisoboka.
Nombuka era endako yakatugamba nti Abaganda mbwanjala aje kasukire eggumba gyegenda. Kala kagamba akukano.
Obote. Wateekwa okubaawo eddoboozi abantu lye bakozesa. Eddoboozi abantu lye bakozesa okutuusa okunnyonnyola kwabwe okutegeerekeka okutangaza bye bakwatako. Conquer the British Empire. Naye nga Wakamu bimuyita, Wakamu amuyitanga mutya?
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. Kuwuliriza, kufumiitiriza, kukola, kwogera. Bina.
Tuwaye.
Bwe yamala okutuula ngenda okutunula mu kibatu kyange kino kyentaddeko bwendi nga muvaamu ebiwuka ng'ensolosozi.
Ebimu byewuunyisa binakuwaza ebirala bikyusa obulamu.
Omuntu atasomye atya n'okuyingira ofiisi naye ng'omanyi nti onnina omukyala n'abaana awaka nakinkola nina ne bizinesi naye ntya n'okuyingira ofiisi eno okwennyonnyolako.
Yeddoboozi lye njogerako. Tuwaye.
You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji, and Brian Mulondo.
the Leicester supremacy, a fairy tale that was never supposed to happen, but it just did last night at the hands of Chelsea when they drew 2-2 at Stamford Bridge. Much of that on the way. Joining me is Darren. Morning, Darren.
Morning, Derek.
How's the cold Tuesday morning?
Just fine. After watching whatever happened last night and Leicester City becoming the Premier League champions for the first time. The only sixth side to do that since 1992. I guess they'll take the fair share for the day.
And it's taken them 130 years, but we begin from home. The big one in the league today is Vipers against Express. One could decide where the title ends. Express looking for their 8th and Vipers looking for their 3rd. Who takes this one home?
With both teams having picked up contrasting results over the weekend, especially Vipers, who are involved in that goalless draw against the league leaders KCC, and that meant the gap between Vipers and KCC remained at 6 points because KCC still at 52 points, while Vipers they are lingering on 46 points. But on the other side, Express managed to move to 2nd place, like we said yesterday, after they beat Bright Stars 2-1. Ibrahim Kaiwa as well as Tony Du, who has now managed 9 goals this season for Express, to move into 2nd. Now that means, as Vipers host Express in Buikwe today, this afternoon, the game that will be live on TV, it's number 2 against number 3, number 2 away from home. If you look at Express's remaining games, of course they do have a game in hand, though they are 4 points adrift of the leaders at KCC. It means they've got to play Villa, they've got to play KCC, and they've got to play Vipers. Now the interesting bit is, the proprietor for Vipers, that is Lawrence Mulindwa, is an Express football fan. Now that's interesting. Now recently, he did give Express 10 million shillings as well as jerseys as a fan. Now, his side, that is Vipers, does host Express. Now, of course, there's got to be a bit of sugar coating onto that if you read between the lines. But both teams, when they get onto the field of play, I think Vipers are well aware that if they win all their remaining games, and look at the fixtures that KCC does have that include this similar Express side, it means Vipers do stand a chance to win the league because they have 2 games in hand. That means should they draw, should they pick out results and win all their remaining games, they turn out to be league champions. And more from their dressing room is that the things to do with match bonuses have been upped. They do come early, everything is prepared in time for George and Simbe's side. But of course devoid of some players like Dan Biri Kwalid as well as Deus Bukenya due to injury. But the strikers John Semas and Alan Chamba, they do return to the side. And of course, like Nsimbe was saying, they'll go and attack all out in Buikwa that field. And I think should the crowd get behind them, they can possibly get the result. All the Express has been stubborn in the previous weeks. They've managed to pick results even where I didn't expect them to, largely because the club has been devoid of funds. They've been underfunded throughout the entire season. So the only thing that can guarantee them a stake and guarantee them a stake in the society are the results they've been getting. Should they beat Vipers, I think now the title could be sliding onto the Lugogo side or the Wankurukuku side as it looks right now. But the picture is still blurred because if Villa, Express, Vipers, KCC are all involved in the remaining games, including URA, it means you can't judge who will win the league title. It will go game after game, so you'll find the title swinging from one hand to another, week after week, because next week, Express does host KCC in Wankurukuku.
And Friday, of course, there's the big Kampala derby, but we go to the motocross championships, battle between Kenya and Uganda. Uganda leads by a very, very large margin. Does this show you how much the sport has grown in Uganda by bringing in former riders, the Garogari track being revamped and all?
The FIM Central Africa Motocross Championships that have been on, an annual tournament that has been on, though it is held in 3 different rounds. Now the first round was in Garuga over the weekend, where Uganda managed to beat Kenya. And if you look at the recent history, the past, you find every team that does host the round does go on to win. So I wouldn't be surprised if Uganda went on to beat Kenya. by that margin because Uganda managed to take about 1,217 points, while Kenya only managed 530. And that stems from the fact that when Uganda does host the event at Garuga, Obusika, Uganda manages to field all riders in almost every category.
That's true.
So they will try and go and collect points in those top 3 positions where points are scored, while Kenya themselves, they can't manage to send the entire field here because for such sports you will find that unlike other sports like rugby or football, you don't carry balls, you probably carry boats, and that's lightweight. Now, here with the motorbikers, you find you're going to carry bikes, you're going to carry all this heavy gear and stuff that Kenyans will probably not manage. They'll probably be limited at some stage, and that's why you find they don't send as many riders as possible here. Eventually, you're going to take in the result there. But with the second round coming up, I think the margins that Uganda did get, the margin that Uganda got in most of those events that were held, right from the MX1 category down to the least category, I think should give them something to hope for. That's an over 800-point margin that they can take to the Jamhuri Park in October for the second round. But in order to sum it all, for Uganda to win the for Uganda to win this Africa meet, the third round is in Kampala. That means the gap will still grow. There are only 3 rounds. Next year you'll find Kenya does host 2. So the title goes the other side. So it looks like it's the same story over the years.
Of course, now what everybody is talking about, Leicester City, 130 years, it's the first time they've done such in their history with an average set of players. How did they do this? Without even kicking a ball?
Okay, without kicking a ball, I can tell you. After their draw at Old Trafford on Sunday, it meant they moved to 77 points, and the gap between them and second place Tottenham Hotspur was 8 points. Now, with 8 points on cut between the two teams, Spurs had to win to leave Leicester City waiting until probably that game against the side that is Everton this coming weekend. Now, yesterday, Spurs was away to Chelsea. Spurs had to beat Chelsea and probably cut that gap from 8 points to 5. Now, if you cut it to 5, it means there are 6 points to play for. So Leicester City can wait. Now, that didn't happen because Spurs did draw at Stamford Bridge 2-2 against the former champions, that's Chelsea, where Eden Hazard scored that late goal, a beauty for both sides to draw. And that meant Leicester City could celebrate wherever they were.
At Vardy's house.
Yeah, at Vardy's house. The video that went viral on Twitter, they could celebrate after that result last night because Spurs could take the lead. Harry Kane as well as Son Heung-min taking the lead there in the first half, leading 2-0, but Chelsea returned superbly in the second half. Gary Cahill as well as Eden Hazard getting that very good goal there coming off the bench. Looks like he's realized his form, but I think at the wrong time, because he managed to score against Bournemouth in the previous game, his first goals of the season. Now he added another, an equalizer that gave Leicester City the Premier League title. Wow, if you're Leicester City, probably Claudio Ranieri should sign that player next season, who has managed to score 3 important goals for Leicester City to advance. But that was the result there. Spurs eventually eliminated. Now, the celebrations in Leicester. Across last night, the tweets, videos, everywhere, they had to wait from Sunday until last night. Then they were guaranteed they were going to be Premier League champions. And I don't think it's the result here against Chelsea that gave Leicester City the title. I think that draw against West Bromwich Albion last week for Spurs is the one that gave Leicester City the title. Eventually, the math was clearly settled. Once the gap grew to 7 points, with 3 games left, Leicester needed to do less. Eventually, it was a draw, and Eden Hazard had to do more of the work for Leicester to win their first Premier League title. The only 6th side to do that since 1992, because the others are Manchester United, Arsenal, Blackburn, Chelsea, and Manchester City that have won the Premier League title. Now, this is another, and this is probably one of the most phenomenal stories. You can't explain what really happened, what really happened throughout the season, because imagine all the other teams that Leicester has beaten, they did spend a lot more than Leicester did throughout the season. This is a side a year ago that had to play under Nigel Pearson to survive relegation. And they were actually one of my picks to get relegated this season when they got Claudio Ranieri. But surprisingly, they've managed to win the Premier League title. And they're picking the results that are earning them the Premier League title are coming from teams that are supposed to be contending for the Premier League title. That's Chelsea, who started the Premier League in a very woeful manner, eventually getting Jose Mourinho sacked. There was a Manchester United that didn't know what to do. There was an Arsenal side that went cold at the wrong time of the season, though they've showed us that they are doing that every now and then, every season, because in January, they're title contenders. After March 30th, they are nowhere to be seen close to the Premier League title. And so many other factors. Manchester City, they took about 3 months without playing football, and Leicester was here playing football. Credit to those players. Jamie Vardy, N'Golo Kante, Riyad Mahrez, Wes Morgan, Kasper Schmeichel, Danny Drinkwater. Of course, last night he didn't drink water.
It was champagne, but one thing that people keep ignoring is that this is Ranieri's first major title, because he keeps finishing 3rd, 4th, and about 6th, especially 2nd. I think he got sacked Chelsea when he finished 2nd. That's when Ranieri came in. But on to the Football Writers Association, the top 3 positions, what we call the podium finishes in sport, were all Leicester, Vardy, Mahrez, and Kante.
After the PFA Awards, where you're voted by your fellow footballers for the Football of the Year award, now the journalists who do write about football managed to award Jamie Vardy as the Premier League Player of the Year, Football of the Year, and that stems from the fact that he broke Ruud van Nistelrooy's record for scoring the highest number of successive games, because he broke that record and took it to 11 successive games, if you remember, this season. Part of those stories that Leicester City has written, trying to make history, and they've eventually made it. That goalkeeper there, Kasper Schmeichel, 23 years ago, his dad was celebrating the title with the son at Old Trafford. Now the son is winning the Premier League title. Quite an interesting story there. But Jamie Vardy, remember, many people expected him to take the PFA award, but that went to Riyad Mahrez. Now for the journalists, they voted him as #1, but it was a podium sweep for the team from King Power Stadium, because in the 2nd place it was Riyad Mahrez and N'Golo Kante coming in 3rd place. Those awards that were given out yesterday there for Leicester City. Quite a very eventful day for them. In the day you get an award, at night you're crowned Premier League champions without breaking much sweat. Probably the sweat was gotten from celebrating.
And of course, Champions League tonight. All to do for Bayern Munich in Munich. Yes, do they overturn the result, or can they say bye-bye and Guardiola bids farewell without winning the Champions League for these guys?
For the past 2 seasons, Pep Guardiola's Bayern Munich has been eliminated at this stage by sides from Spain. Eliminated by Barcelona last season, eliminated by Real Madrid last season. Each team that has gone on to eliminate Bayern Munich in the past 2 seasons has gone on to win the Champions League. Madrid did it in 2014, Barcelona did last season, and of course, if you remember, in 2013, it's when Bayern beat Borussia Dortmund at Wembley 2-1 in the final to win the Champions League, that goal by Arjen Robben. And now 3 seasons later, Pep Guardiola is fighting really, really hard to win the Champions League before he crosses to the blue end of Manchester in the summer. But the result that came from the first leg, I think, does shape a lot this entire fixture, because Atletico Madrid did win the first leg by 1-0. If you look at the recent statistics, where Atletico, of the 27 games where they've won the first leg under Diego Simeone, they've gone on to win the entire contest. That means they don't get eliminated. Actually, 15 in a row at this stage so far. So that does throw a lot into Bayern Munich's heads before they get onto the field of play. Now, what's there to worry? After that goal by Saul Niguez, that beauty where he had to go around close to 5 players before he scored early at the Vicente Calderon a week ago, Bayern Munich are in a state where they are trying to chase a treble. They're in the final of the DFB Pokal. They're in the semi-final of the Champions League. In the league, they only need 2 points after drawing against Borussia Mönchengladbach over the weekend, 1-0. They now need 2 points. They've had all their minds put onto this one, and Guardiola is well aware that for him to leave a legacy in Germany, where he's won almost every trophy, he's got to win this title that Jupp Heynckes won before leaving and paving way for Guardiola to come here. And this is going to be the most important fixture. But when you get to the field of play, Bayern have this style of pass the ball here and there. Atletico Madrid, I think they are very, very solid. I think they will still pack the bus like they did. I don't think Bayern had so many chances at the Vicente Calderon. I think they will have a lot more. Should Atletico finish with 11 men, I think Bayern will find it very, very difficult to beat them, because Atletico already have the result. What does that mean? Should Atletico score a goal, Bayern will need 3.
True.
Should Atletico score a goal, Bayern will need 3.
You've talked about Atletico finishing with 11 men. Why do you foresee a red card in this one?
It could come from anywhere. Why? In the first leg against Barcelona at the quarter-final stage, it was Fernando Torres who was sent off. And you know how much that had to put impact on the field of play. Simeone was forced into a substitution where he had to call off Yannick Ferreira Carrasco and brought on Fernando Augusto in the midfield. Of course, you think now trying to keep the midfield solid. The midfield battle between all those midfielders for Bayern Munich, where you think Ian Robben, talk about Arturo Vidal and all these other players, the battle between them, and then the other side there is Gabi Fernandez, Koke, Sol Niguez, Fernando Augusto. But my worry is, should those 2 players at the front for Atletico get the ball and face into the line of Javi Martinez, Bana, as well as Philip Lam plus David Alaba on the left, I think should they get spaces, especially in the counter-attack, I would fear for Bayern Munich. Manuel Neuer could give you 3 saves, but should Atletico score, like I've said, and I think they will score, it's going to be a very, very long night for the home fans as well as the home team. But Antonio Griezmann and Fernando Torres at the front, that should be the biggest worry for Bayern Munich, for Guardiola, because this side, I think it's going to be a huge stone wall. I think Atletico have brought a German wall into the Allianz Arena this evening. I think Atletico to make the final. Atletico will make the final. And
how does Guardiola set out his side?
You'd expect, of course, Thomas Muller to return to the side with Roberto Lewandowski at the front. Then you're going to have probably Douglas Costa, so that's already a tree at the front. Then maybe look for Ian Robben on one of the ends, or Paul Muller back into the middle together with Arturo Vidal, and then probably there. That's where the team will shape up. But I fear for Bayern, especially in the counter-attack. If you remember the 2 goals that Juventus got, the first 2 goals Juventus got were all counter-attacks where Alvaro Morata had to pick the ball from the deep end, eventually going past about 6 players, leaving Juan Cuadrado to score. So I think, should those moments come, Atletico could be deadly. They could actually win the game should Bayern fail to capitalize on their chances.
Now, Guardiola heads to the blue half of Manchester, as you have put it, but he's had it quite easy in Germany. Will it be the same story for him in England when he takes on when he finally takes charge of Man City?
Of course, that's quite a big question, because by the end of by the start of next season, you realize first of all, the Premier League champions are unusual. That's Leicester City. I don't think they'll win the Premier League title next season. I would be surprised if they do. Spurs has played decently. Should they cling on to their players, it will be a different side. Manchester City will have Guardiola. The other red half of Manchester could be having a new manager in Jose Mourinho. Now, Chelsea already has Antonio Conte, and there's Jurgen Klopp, who will start a fresh season with his side. Those are already 6 sides I'm talking about. And now you also bring Arsene Wenger, of course, the man that many don't want to talk about for the moment. But 7 teams, I think Guardiola will have to work really hard. Of course, you expect so many changes. Should the squad change, probably they should be the title contenders.
Pleasure, Darren. Now the wait is over for Leicester and the fans. Champions League action tonight. We'll be back with that and much more tomorrow. Have a good morning.
NTV is giving you an opportunity to get discovered. Be the next big screen star. Are you an actor or an actress or have dreams to become one? Well, here is the biggest chance to fulfill that dream. Take a picture of yourself and tell us what makes you stand out. Then #discover me on any of our social media pages. We are watching and we want to discover you.
Are you a poultry farmer or you intend to get into poultry farming and are in search of skills and techniques of making profits from your poultry venture? Daily Monitor brings you the 4th Seeds of Gold Farm Clinic with focus on poultry on 7th May 2016 at Makerere Agriculture Research Institute, Kabanyoro Gayaza, at a fee of 70,000 shillings only, payable at Daily Monitor headquarters on 8th Street, Namuwongo. For exhibition or more information, please call Emmeline on 0774 853 187. Seeds of Gold in partnership with Agricultural Business Initiative, sponsored by UAP Insurance.
Look at all the juices that are in there, and that is what I'm looking for. My goodness, look at that.
You know what they say about girls? Who cries more? Girls. Who does the chores? Girls. Who's the shopaholic? Girls. Who's all about selfies? Girls. Who brings the drama? Girls. But we want to show you our real world, where we're more than just girls. Introducing Spark TV, the first female channel in Uganda, made for you to bring out the best in you. Spark TV, it's your time.
Ekifo ekimu kissa wamusu n'ekyalo ekiweddeko abamanye bakiraza mumwa. Tugenda kutuuka gy'oli oyogere naffe ebikwata ku kyalo kyo, embeera mw'okolera, ebyobufuzi, ebyobulamu n'ensonga endala nnyingi. Ebyogerwa tebiyita. Tuusa eddoboozi lyo, yogera naffe buli lwakuna otereevu ku NTV akawungeezi.
You don't have to look any further. Get online and you'll get any property.
It's all about joinery. How best do you give a tree a very good second life?
Because there's already development happening around.
Say for example carpets, pick luxurious carpet and you say I've gotta have a carpet wall-to-wall in my house, but we're a hot country.
Welcome to the property show where we make real estate sense.
On the next episode.
This Wednesday at 8 p.m. on NTV. Revved Up, Uganda's premier motoring show, is back once again with an all-new and exciting episode. Join us every week as we take you through the latest innovations and developments in the motoring industry. All this and more on Revved Up.
Raise the praise. Get inspiration. Rise up every morning with a song of praise to the Lord. day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. Soul Moment, every Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
Mwasuza Mutia is brought to you by
Radiant. Feel yourself.
and Finance Trust Bank, the bank that understands women's financial needs.
Balamusako nti mwasiza mutaka lunaku luno olwokubiri ennaku z'omwezi 3 omwezi ogwokutaano mukibale kyonna gye mutandise okukalabya akakuba mukakulike kabadde kayitiriva ate katugwikiriza mu biseera ebizibu ennyo ng'abayizi tudduka ku ssomero naye alhamdulillah konako kagenze kansooke ntumireko Florence Naluyimba oba Flore Mujasi leero zaaliddwa happy birthday mukwano nsereko Shamira James Odomel nawe baby Ridwan Farahan Ali owezezza omwaka gumu obubaka buva ewa mama Madina ne Abubeka ziraba muzaale mwena happy birthday olwaliro lwakubiri tugenda kubatoogera byabulamu mwasiza mutya mu studio nina Dr. Paul Kawesa Kabazi okuva mu Lifelink Hospital wali enamugongo tugenda kwatwogera ku ddagala eddagala lyo olimira ng'omusawo bwagambye eddagala likufuula olikusiiwa oba likuleetako obulabe bwonna okola otya eddagala eriryo olimiranga Dr. bwagambye ekyo nkibuuziza ne bw'obanga si gw'omu kwabo abagoberera ebiragiro by'omusawo gw'omu kwabo abagenda wali ku pharmacy n'ogula eddagala kubanga olira omutwe gukuluma oba gw'omu kwabo abalowooza nti Dr. Tandaba n'olwekyo leero sijja kumera oswadde nnyo naye sokolaba obulabe obuli mu ekyo tugenda kuba ne Dr. oba tuli ne Dr. Paul Kawesa Kabazi agezeko tulaga obulabe obuli mu ngeri gye tumira eddagala Dr. nkulamusiza siro
nange nkulamusiza nnyabo Farida
gyebaleko
kale nawe gyebaleko
kale eddagala lino edda namiranga eddagala yali quinine bankubanga quinine nemala ennaku zange 3 nga nkaaba sebaka ekiro wala kuba quinine yavaawo naye sikyafuna buzibu obwo
quinine akyaliwo
tebakyamunkuba
naye tebakyamukuba kubanga ennaku zino twakyusamu ku ddagala ennaku zino quinine si yasooka waliwo eddagala ebikebera byetutandika nabyo waliwo eddagala eppya eryakafuluma myaka nga 10 emabega bayita atesunet kati lyetusookerezaako bwe tuba tujjanjaba ki omusujja
quinine kambwe nnyo gyemusembyayo
si kambwe nnyo neera nga side effects nga wogambye ebyo ebibaawo ebibi ebivudde mu ddagala quinine yalina bingi okusinga kuki kubiri ebirala so abasawo abakugu bagenda bakyusakyusaamu medicine oba eddagala isiba likola ki likyukakyuka buli lunaku banoonyerezayo ekipya so ensonga lwaki ekyokuwulira side effects oba nti quinine tokyamukozesa yakyuka ate oluusi nga bwetujja okwongera okuteesa oluusi doozi zetuwa oluusi wali muto nga doozi gye bakuwa yaki ya muntu mukulukuluko oluusi bulagajjavu ate ekirala eddagala lyalivaawa lyali liva mu kliniki oba lyali liva ku side wali muki
musawo mwenyeni nga maze mwenyeni yakwekubira n'empiso naye nga lwaki eddagala lisiiwa omuntu aba alinako allergy oba bye bateekamu bye bikyamu
ebyo bateekamu si bikyamu eddagala lino kye tulina okumanya eddagala wadde ligezaako okutaasa obulamu litta oba obuwuka oba bulese obulwadde ate eddagala eryo nalyo libeera obuntu bwe bukwata mu parts z'omubiri kati nga quinine oyo quinine aleeta nnyo ekintu mu matu ekiwuumirira neera quinine mu baana abato tutera mwagala neera waliwo abaana abato bambi abamu n'amatu ne gakola ki ne gaziba lwaki lwa quinine waffe oyo naye ate eddagala nga ki ddungi so mu lusawo waliwo ekintu kye tugamba nti olina okuweeyinga oba okupimamu ekirungi n'ekibi wesigaba quinine ono omuntu ono mu nnaku 2 anaabaawo kitegeera oba wempa quinine ono omuntu ajja kubeera bulungi amatu gajja waalamu naye mu nnaku 3 nga ki ng'ateredde so kyekyo
batugamba eddagala litera okufuuka obutwa okusinziira kuki
eddagala lifuuka obutwa okusinziira ekisooka nga tolinalitwala eddagala eryo balikola ddi limaze ku shelfu oba mu dduuka limaze ebbanga ki kubanga eddagala lino buli lunaku luyitawo likyuka muki mu mbeera yaalyo likyuka mu mbeera yaalyo eddagala erisinga lifuna ku maketi waliwo erimu lya mwaka gumu eddala lya myaka 5 so lisiba likola ki likyuka ate ekyokubiri eddagala lino lifuuka obutwa ng'olimize otya oyo eddagala erimu wetugamba nti mira kiro tomira misana Farida n'omira emisana wenna n'obongoota ku steeringi so kati oba obukoze eki bufuuse buki bubeera bufuuse butwa ate eddagala lino in addition kyenyinza okwongerako olimize naki
namazzi gookya
olimize namazzi gookya waliwo emu etugamba nti mira namata erimu netugamba nti mira ng'omaze okuki okulya kati mu ngeri eyo eddagala erikola ki lifuuka obutwa ate eddagala lino olimize mu bungi ki wekugamba nti kowate mira mpeke nnya Farida ate ne kawalaako nako n'okawa mpeke nnya oba obutwa tegedde
olwokubanga omusawo yampadde kowatemu nina ekinnuma n'omwana watandika okubuguumirira naye nga
muwaka kowatemu kitegeera so bonna mu ngeri egyo emitendera egyo eddagala lifuuka obuki obutwa
kati eddagala amakerenda nga mira naki
amakerenda buli kerenda lirina enjawulo yaalyo era buli ddagala ligirako ki ebintu endagiro ey'okuki ey'okulimira ebifo ebingi bigezaako okukubuulira nti eddagala lino limire bwoti naye ate munnange kyetulabye ennaku zino neera gaffe aba lifelink kyetugezaako okukola wetuuka mu famasi zaffe omuntu akubuulira nti nnyabo eddagala lino limire ki bweti ku ssaawa zino ekyegedde so sigamba nti eddagala general rule nti etteeka weeriri nti eddagala lyonna lyonna mira namazzi ki nga nnyogoga eddagala lyonna mira namiki namicungwa buli ddagala likyuka naki likyuka mu nnywa yaalyo oba yemmira yaalyo
waliwo olina eddagala ly'abaana liba mu powder form ne bagamba litabule oteeke mu fridge bwe neerabira oteeka eddagala eryo mu fridge liba terigenda kukola nga bwe liteekeddwa
lijja bba terigenda kukola nga bwe liteekeddwa kati kankuwe ekyokugezaako bw'otereka okamula akatunda leero Farida akatunda ako n'okateeka mu fridge olweggulo n'otuuka olweggulo okasanga katya
kakatuuse
oluusi okateeka mu fridge oyinza okukasangawo nga fridge yo ekola bulungi naye ate bw'okalekaawo ku dining wewakalesse kakatuuka kitegeera so n'eddagala eryo lyeki kyekimu naddala mu powder form oba mu buwunga lisigala ki terina buzibu naye kasita oteekamu amazzi mubaamu muli ebintu ebiki ebikyuka ffe kyetwandiise oba mu lusawo oba mu luzungu active form wano oli activate nze oli wadde obulamu okuki okuziiza obulwadde oba okulwanisa obuwuka obwo naye wali mu powder teribaako buki
kati omwana bwe muwa eddagala eryo bulabe ki obuyinza omutuukako geza
eddagala eryo likyuka form liva mu active form ne litandika kyetuyita mu luzungu simanyi ngeri gyenyinza kimenyamu oba okudigradingibwa okumenyamenyebwa mu obwo obutwa bwe twayogeddeko emabega ekitegedde ate n'eddagala ingredient oba ekirungo ekyo ky'oba oyagala kirumba obuwuka kiba kinafuye nakyo kati woliwo omuntu oba omwana naddala omwana ajja ddimira bulungi either limuwesi obulabe wetayagala oba kusesema oba agonde nnyo oba olubuto ate lutandika omuluma terijja mukola ate kyentuukako nti direme kulwanisa buwuka bulungi ensonga kyerugenda okuteesaako mu maaso direme kulwanisa buwuka ki bulungi kiringa akabwa bw'ogenda n'okasanga mu lujja lwako n'okakangamu kajja kwekangamu kakomewo naye ate bw'oba okakubye segamba abantu bakukubambwa naye bw'oba okakubye ddala tekakola ki naye okakangamu ate naawe ne kalaba nti olinamu okutya ate ejjira ki ddala n'amaanyi so n'eddagala bubuuka obwo kyeki kyekyo kyetutayagala
eddagala lino lyatakinga litya obuwuka
eddagala lino eddagala lirina engeri za njawulo ki zirirumbamu obuwuka obuwuka buno bwe tugenda singa kwogera ku bacteria kubanga bacteria yasinga okututawaanya oba gwe twandiise mu lulimi ng'olumenyeemu germs. Bacteria oyo ayina kye tuyita ekisenge ekimwetoolodde ne munda omwo ne mubeeramu obuntu obw'enjawulo. Abaakolako science oba bajjukira seruwoolo, nucleus. Kati obuwuka obwo tubulumbira mu parts ez'enjawulo. Kitegeera waliwo eddagala erimu erirumba woolu oba ekisenge kya bacteria eyo ne kigimenya. W'ogimenya eba ekoze eki? Eba efudde. Waliwo obumu obutuuka ddala muli munda mu nucleus ne tukyusa mu ngeri ki bacteria eyo gye yandibadde yeeyongera oba okuzaala ne bugiziiza. Bw'emala okuzaala kubanga nazo tezirwawo bbanga ppanvu. Ezisinga nnaku lumu nga zikoze eki? Zifudde. Nnaku 3 nga zifudde. So bwe butyo bwe bugezaako okuki?
Okay. Waliwo ayinza okwebuuza ekiba kintawaanya kiri wano nga ku kakongovulo oba ku vivi n'eddagala ndimira wano kati lituukayo ddi eryo oli aba eddagala bamu ointment agisiige wali wennyini.
Ekyo kituufu nnyo 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 nnyo. Eddagala lino bw'olimira oba bwe bali kukuba mu musuwa bw'olimira ligenda mu ki? Mu lubuto. Mu lubuto linandiise stomach. Ffe wetwogera ku lubuto tulowooza ku ki? Kyonna kyonna ekitudde ki? Naye mulimu parts, mulimu emmere weetuukira oba ekisako naye ne mugendamu mu ki? Mu byenda. Kati wetuuka mu lubuto liyitamu erimu oyo asidi abeera mu lubuto ate yalizuukusa ne ligenda mu byenda. Bwe lituuka mu byenda then ne balimenyaamenyamu ebyenda ne bitandika ki? Okulisika ne ligenda mu ki? Mu musaayi. Kati bwe liva ate mu musaayi erimu eddagala lisobola okubeera nga liri ki? Already okukola lijja tandikirawo okukola. Naye ate waliwo erimu eriyita mu kibumba. Ekibumba kirimu
erikikosa.
Si lyonna.
Bwe liba lifuuse butwa lisobola
okukikosa. Ne liyita mu ki? Mu kibumba. Ekibumba ekyo kirimu emibisi oba enzymes ezikola ki? Ezimenya eddagala eryo ne likyusa ne lizizuukusa. Then eddagala eryo ne litambula mu ki? Mu musaayi. Kubanga omusaayi tulowooza ndutuuka buli wamu.
So litambulira mu musaayi.
Litambulira mu
okutuuka buli kanyomero. Okay. Bwenkeera ku makya ne bampa eddagala. Nga mbadde nina temperature y'amaanyi engeno omusawo n'ampa eddagala. Nenkeera ku makya nga nsambira waggulu. Sina tabbu. Yangaye ndimiri ennaku 5. Awo abasinga basanga wawo obuzibu buyitirivu. Kati liri eddagala liri ennaku 2 oba 3 nga nteeka ku bbali kasita mpulira bulungi.
Ekyo kyo kituufu nnyo 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 naddala ate w'oba otunuulidde abaana abato. Omwana omuto baba teetannyawo ku ddwaliro ng'omwana muyi. Omukuba akayiso kamu nga tannava na muki? Mu ddwaliro. Ng'abuuka. Tegeera. Eddagala eryo liba likozeeko omulimu gwalyo. Likendeezezza kye twandiyise oba symptoms. Likendeezezza ebyo bye tulaba oba embeera ey'embi gye bikola ki? Obulwadde gye buba bukutaddemu naye ate liba terinnamala kuggyawo ki? Kireeta bulwadde obwo oba bujjamuzi obwo bwe twayogedde. Likukkakkanyiza ku bulumi. Kati nga bwe nagambye bujjamuzi obwo olina okumalayo ddoozi kubanga ate w'obuwa eddoozi entono bw'obunyeenyaamu bo bunyiiga buki? Bunyiizi. Ate jjamuzi zino nazo zisiiba zikyuka mu ki? Mu ngeri yaazo. Kye twandiyise evolution. Ne zidevelopinga ekintu kye tuyita mu luzungu nti resistance oba kye tuteereza okukozesa obujeemu ne butandika okujeemera ki? Eddagala. Ate ekyo ekizibu kyekimu kye tuyina ennaku zino. Tutandise okufuna nnyo ki? Resistance oba obujeemu ku ki? Ku ddagala. Neera kyova olaba abaana ennaku zino tulaba nnyo okulaifulinki aba infection zifuuse eki? Infections. Ate oluusi abamu kuffe faba abakola ki? Abazireeta.
Ffe abalwadde.
Kubanga omwana abuusemu nnaku 3 lwaki sirapo njimalayo. So obujjamuzi obutawaanyizaako katono ne butandika okuki? Okudevelopinga obwo obujeemu. Then ate ne kifuuka ekizibu ki?
Kwegaye mwana gw'osanga nga tawona. Awona mu wiiki naawe n'olireka ne mukomawo n'ojja n'ogamba Dr. Po omwana tawona. oba mwana wange mukebera ekisinga walabika alina problem eri big
ekiri
nina muto wange yabanga akubwa ekintu nga kijja nebulwamira eddagala nga tetumanyi ekintu nekijja nekimwokya wano oba ne wano kane basooka ne bamutambuzaako waliwo n'omusawo yatugamba mbu kansa naye luvannyuma nnyo ne tukyusaako eddwaliro ne batugamba sulfa yamwokya mpeke amira eddagala nga mulimu sulfa tukitegeera luvannyuma nnyo era bwe bakimugjaako n'atereera n'enkovu kati zaggwerawo ddala kiva ku ky'omuntu okuba ne allergy ku ddagala era mu abasawo musobola okumulaba oba ne munkebera oba ki ne mukizuula nti nina ekizibu ku ddagala bwerite
ekizibu ku ddagala tusobola okukizuula naye si ekyembi nti emirundi egisinga tukizuula kibaddewo naye bw'oba ozze mu malwaliro gaffe amalungi oluusi abasawo tukubuuza nti oyina eddagala lyonna lyonna erikuyisa obubi oba maama we yaliyina kubanga emirundi egisinga zino zi allergy ziyita muki mu musaayi kijjira ku buki ku butonde bwaffe tegete kijjira ku butonde bwaffe kiringa kati bwe kijjira mu butonde bwaffe ezo waliwo chemicals ezimu kati nga sulfa yamanyikiddwa ate ali mu malagala mangi amanyikiddwa neera woomumira sulfa nga omubiri gwo tegukwatagana naye ojja kukola ki ajja kukuleetera obuzibu naye ate oyinza okusanga kabazzi ye n'amira sulfa n'atamukola ki n'atamufunako buzibu so allergy ezo siyinza kugamba nti ziva ku kino oba kiri naye ezisinga zijja ku ki mu musaayi ate waliwo ezimu ezijja nga ne zijja ze tuyita late onset oba ne zijja mu bukulu wali omira eddagala lyo bulungi naye akadde ne katuuka omubiri ne gulekerawo kuki ne guligaana so tolemerako n'ogamba nti dokita nze lino bulijjo lye bakola ki lye bankolera kuba n'omubiri gwe gukola ki gukyuka ekyo kyekintu kye tulina okusiima nti emibiri gyaffe tegitudde wantu wamu emibiri gyaffe gisiiba gikyuka ne ku ssaawa eno wetwogerera gikyuka
kwegamba muyinza obutaba nakyo na control okutusanga mukitegedde oba waliyo reaction
obanga muki mu families oba ab'eŋŋanda bakiyina so emirundi egisinga bwe tulaba abalwadde neera ennaku zino neebaza nnyo zi pharmacies ezizze ennungi ezibeera ne badispensa abalungi abamanyi kye bakola emirundi egisinga nga tannakuwa ddagala era ajja kukugamba eddagala lino olina reaction ku kino olina reaction ku kiri neera naffe otunira kati nga ku lifelink akatabo kooleeterako omwana kuliko oba naye kojjira kuliko party allergies abantu abasinga bakabuuka naye sibamba mbakuutira nti banna wandiikako neyaki eyajjajjaawo oba waliwo ki ogimanyi kubanga nezi allergies oba reactions to drugs zirimu emiki emitendera waliwo obwo bwe tuyita obuli mild lulo si lulimi lwa kisawo ngenda kikyusaamu obutonotono ako netakuddeko nteredde ngenze newabaawo eri nekukubira ki nekukubira wala nolemwa okukola omutwe ne gukuluma n'osisema olunaku lwonna kitegeera newabaawo eri ate yo gye tuyita ezirira life threatening nga zikoki nga zithreateninga obulamu bwo nti bisobola okukola ki okujjawo mu nsi nezikosa omutima nezikosa ensigo nezikosa ekibumba so waakiri owandiika ne tumanya buli kimu ekyo ne tutalinda kaki kaseera kali
bwe omuntu bwe mpulira bubi ne ngenda ku pharmacy nga nina akadagala kemmanyiko kamponya bwenkamira abantu abamu tebafaayo kubuuza musawo kino mira ddi nkola ntyaza bweziti eddagala bwe mbandimira kinkakatako kubeera consistent mu ngeri gye ndimiramu bwe mba nasazeewo ngenda kulimira ngenda kwebaka ate sikeera ku makya nenkola byenkoze ngamba kasita nina obudde kammire ngenda kuba ku lugendo ezinaawerera essaawa ze nalimiriddeko jjo
kikakatako nnyo okubeera consistent mu ddagala kubanga nga bw'oli emmere wayita akaseera neekola ki neefuluma oba n'ofuka n'eddagala neryo kyekimu. Eddagala bwe tulimira mu lusawo wabeerawo gye bayita peak plasma concentration oba obungi oba concentration oba doozi lwerisinga mu musaayi ku ssaawa yonna. Amalagala agasinga gajja achiivinga mu kuva mu ddakiika 3 paka nga ssaawa 3. Awo werisingira obungi naye bwe tulowooza nti werisingira okukola ki okukola bwe lituuka ku piiki eyo ba waggulu ne likola ki ne likendeera. Kyova olaba tugamba nti mira panado emirundi 3 so tuba tubaze nti buli ssaawa 8 panado ono agenda kuba akoze eki aweddemu ki mubiri. Panado aba agenda kuba aweddemu amenyebbwa akoze omulimu gwe ensigo zimufulumiza ekibumba kimumezeza ensigo zikola ki zimufulumiza. So ye ensonga lwaki tukuutira abantu nti mira muki mu budde. Oyinza okuwulira bulungi nnyo n'okamira leero ku ssaawa zino wayitawo ssaawa 2 n'otereera naye ate ogenda okulaba olw'eggulo ng'obudde buyiseewo ng'embeera ekola ki ezzeemu. Naye twalanya abalwadde najja n'agamba kasita mmira akalagala kano mba bulungi naye kasita wayitawo obudde nga kagenda kakendeera embeera n'ekola ki n'ekomawo.
Okumira mwampadde eddagala lya ssaawa 8 ondimira every after ssaawa 8 hours 8 kati okulimira after 6 hours n'okulimira after 10 which one is more dangerous? Wakati awo
byonna si birungi. Byonna si birungi. W'olimira ku ssaawa 6 olireese manguko. Didi already lewamize concentration yazo ekyali ki ekyalimu so bw'oyongezaako lino oyinza okugenda mu ki mu overdose. Ate liriwo olwawo okulimira okwongezaako biri embeera obulwadde bwebeekuleetedde ze twagambye ze symptoms zijja kukomawa ate owulira obuki obubi oba obuwuka tojja kwongera bukola ki bulwanisa bulungi. So sijja kugamba nti waliwo ekisinga obubi ku ebyo byonna bibi. Sina saidi ya muje nyinza gamba bantu bafatulaba nti kamire mangu kamirere etya
galemera nnyo ku 8 gwe
balemera nnyo ku 8 naye ate tugamba nti Dr. Kabazzi yagambye nti nalemeddwa okutuusa essaawa 8 ate essaawa ziri essaawa 10 sijja mira. Bw'oba omiisinze eddoozi gimire immediately ki lw'osobodde.
Waliwo okusobola nga oyisizaawo just hours ne waliwo okumala nnaku 2 nga weerabidde. Era otandikirawo oba kati awo mba nzirayo buzi wa doctor.
Awo mba nkusaba komawo ku life link nkulabe.
Kudwalire wa doctor.
Kudwalire wa doctor.
Okay. Ntegera nti ambu kati eddagala omubiri guligaanye. For example ndimize nga bwe bagimpa dose yonna ndimize faithfully eweddewo n'enkyalumizibwa.
Buli wetubwa omuntu eddagala ng'abasawo twewa targets oba twewa detwandiise eki goals. Emitemo nagamba nti kati mu ssaawa zino 12 nina okufuna kino mu ssaawa zino wayitawo essaawa 24 tulina okufuna kino. Neera bojja yogera n'omusawo omubuuze dokita nti nina kikyenkusuubiramu mu ssaawa zino kikyenandisuubiddemu ku ddagala lino lyompadde. Omwana bw'oba omuleese n'enkuwa eddagala nga temperature yasinze omumuleeta temperature egaanye. Tolinde ssaawa zigenze mu ssaawa 12 kuva wenakulabye please komawo. Omwana oba omuntu omukulu yenna omize eddagala bagambye musujja gwa malaria gwe gukuluma nnaku wayiseewo 2 watereddemukko olwokusatu ate bikoze eki bikomyewo komawo. Ekintu kino ekyokukomawo ew'omusawo tekiriiko kadde. Buli woofuna chansi komawo eddagala eryo tugambe buli woofuna chansi ng'olaba nti toteredde komawo.
Neddoozi ne bweba tennagwayo.
Neddoozi webanga ki tennaggwayo. Bw'oba owulira waliwo tugambe wazze n'omutwe n'omubiri gwokya ne kisenyiga. N'omira eddagala kisenyiga ne kigenda n'omira ng'omutwe nagwo ne gugenda n'omubiri nga gukyayokyamu ku makya naye ate mu lunaku newekola ki noba bulungi. Awo oyinza okukyogamba nti eddagala lino wadde terimazeeyo byonna naye dikozeeko oyinza oddiwaamu akaseera naye ate biri ebibiri biwonye naye ate omutwe oba gulemeddeko nnaku olusoose olwokusatu olwokuna please komawo tujjanjabe ogwo ki omutwe kiba kirungi nti biri bijjanjabiddwa eddagala eryo naye kino ekisigaddeyo jangu tukole ki tukyongeremu.
Nebuuza nnyo lwaki omusujja gulumanya akawungeezi nga buwungeera n'okankana omubiri gwonna ne gugonda ennyingo ne zikuluma lwaki.
Kati omusujja bw'ogamba omusujja kansooka embuuzo otegeeza omusujja malaria oba omusujja omubiri gwokya
byonna omusujja tufe wetufuna temperature bitwala nti musujja kati gwe nonsalirawo oba malaria oba yellow.
Kati kugwe ekigero ku nga wonaalaba malaria obuwuka obuleeta omusujja gwa malaria oba omusujja gw'ensiri buyina obutwa bwe busiba bukola ki bufulumya ate obutwa buno bubufulumya muki mu biseera si nti buli kiseera bufulumya wabeerawo time ne bukola ki
ne bulumba ne bunyiga.
So naddala ku malaria obudde obwo emirundi egisinga kijja lweggulo oba oluusi oli ku makya bukedde n'ofuna temperature n'egenda. So kisobola okuba nga kiva kuki ku buwuka obukulumbye. Ekyokubiri mu mubiri omubiri gwaffe tuyina emibisi gye tuyita steroids gye gisiiba gikola ki gifulumya omubiri gusiiba gugifulumya ate enfulumya yaazo ekyuka n'otiki n'obudde. Steroids zezimu nga ddagala nga buddekisa abantu abamu babumanyi nnyo buddekisa. So steroid eyo eziiza ebyo ebireetebbwawo obulwadde mu luzungu kirwandiisa oba anti-inflammatory eziiza ki ekintu ekyo. So olunaku we bukya doozi mu musaayi ya steroids ebeera waggulu gye bugenda bukendeera olunaku ekola ki
olusawo luyitirira.
So byebyo ebimu.
Tulina Dr. Paul Kawesa Kabazi okuva mu Lifelink Hospital. Kati omulemu katono nnyo temwerabira okuba amasimu omubuuze ebibuuzo biyitirivu byonna ebikwatagana ku ddagala ajja kuba atudda mutavaawo katukomewo.
Taste the feeling.
This is you. Your friends. Your family. Your fellow Ugandans. All are rising. Because when people get information that is incisive, in-depth, and analytical, people take action. People create change. NTV News. Moving Uganda.
Wow!
Fanta. Fanta.
Amazing!
Fanta fruit blast. Fanta. Tasty Fanta. Fanta. Fanta fruit blast. Fanta. Tasty Fanta. Fanta. Tasty Fanta.
New Fanta Fruit Blast with honey. Wow, what an amazing taste!
You can now become an exclusive MTV reporter on the go. With the NTV Go mobile app, you can create news by capturing and sharing content instantly. Simply download the NTV Go app on Google Play Store. Go to the N Reporter feature and start reporting as the news happens. We will air your story on a special TV program. NTV Go also allows you to watch news, instant live updates, and follow your favorite show from the comfort of your home, taxi, or your favorite kafunda. Download NTV Go app now from Play Store.
The Ministry of Health wishes to notify the general public that the wild polio virus is still circulating in some countries bordering Uganda. The cross-border population movements due to insecurity and trade put our country at risk of getting polio. Therefore, the Ministry of Health and partners will conduct a polio house-to-house immunization campaign on Saturday the 23rd, Sunday 24th and Monday 25th of April 2016 in the following districts of Uganda: Adjumani, Aleptom, Amolata, Amudat, Amuru, Apach, Arua, Bududa, Bujiri, Buko, Bulambuli, Bulisa, Bundibujo, Buyende, Dokolo, Hoima, Ibanda, Iganga, Isingiro, Jinja, Kabong, Kabale, Kabarole, Kaliro, Kampala, Kamuli, Kamwenge, Kanungu, Kapchora, Kasese, Chivale, Chiriandongo, Kisoro, Kitgum, Koboko, Kole, Chegegwa, Chenjojo, Queen, Lamuo, Lira, Luka, Manafwa, Maracha, Masindi, Mayuge, Mbale, Moyo, Nakapiripirit, Namaingo, Namutumba, Nebi, Ntoroko, Oyam, Otuke, Rakai, Rukunjiri, Sironko, Wakiso, Yumbe, and Zombo.
Parents and guardians, please ensure that all your children below 5 years of age are immunized against polio during house-to-house immunization campaign. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF and partners.
Purple Party!
Barara, are you ready? The Purple Party is coming to your town at the Heat Bar in Barara. One night, 2 DJs, an exclusive purple carpet, and lots of giveaways. It's the Purple Party featuring the Spin Doctor DJ Shiro, Winnie Mwangi, Ziza Bapana. Entrance is just 10,000 shillings and the event is hosted by NTV's Douglas Rwanga. The Purple Party Tour is coming to your town and it's powered by Spark TV, NTV,
Webale nnyo kwekumira ku program mwasiza mutya tuli ku Spark TV wamone NTV tuline Dr. Paul Kawesa Kabazi okuva mu Lifelink Hospital togera ku bintu byaddagala. Doctor, waliwo eddagala libakuwa ne likolerawo olubo diteekayo bwoti bweguba mutwe immediately ne gugenda bwaba senyiga n'akalira wabadde akulukuta nnyo n'akala ebintu ebikolerawo amangu ennyo si bya mutawaana.
Nedda si bya mutawaana webibanga bikoze ki ekiruubirirwa. Naye ate eddagala erikolerawo emirundi egisinga n'omubiri likola ki gulifulumya mangu. Naye ate eddagala okukolerawo kidipendinga ekisooka ku ddagala lyennyini oba ekyokubiri newa we liyise. Obeera ne ssenyiga n'enkuwa ka spray n'okasindika mu nnyindo n'oweweererawo so ka spray ako kagenzewa obuzibu ki we buli so lisuubira okukola ki okukolerawo kusingako ate wandimiza akakerenda kagende mu lubuto mu process gye nnakuyitiddemu naye tekiriiko buzibu.
Okay.
Tekiriiko buzibu.
Waliwo kituyita addiction. Omuntu n'abanga alina eddagala nga ddyo omubiri gulimanyidde alimanyidde buli wafuna ekizibu takyetaaga nagenda wa dokita ekizibu kyakimanyi nti nze enkuba emyasi esaawa bweziti enkuba emyasi enkuba bwetonya nkuba emyasi nga buli watandika okuba emyasi ng'asikayo nga yabugulana mu bungi buli awo n'eddoozi yayo takyalimanyi yamira bumizi bwawewera period.
Ekyo ekya addiction tusinga kirabana mu ddagala lya bulumi. Ekyo ekyatugambe nga kyogambye ekyemyasi oluusi abamu tukiyita nga dependency. Naye ate ekyo ekibi kyakyo oluusi emyasi egyo giyinza okuba nga waliwo ekizibu ekiri emabega kyokweka oba kyobikkako. So kiba kirungi buli kiseera at least woofuna wadde bukolera funa akadde ogende okole ki olaba omusawo. Kiba kirungi yesu oba bukoledde naye oyinza okuba oyina ekintu gwe kyotalaba nga ggwe. Then ate yogedde ku kya addiction waliwo tulaba nnyo waliwo amalagala agamu naddala ag'obulumi gegamu enkola yaago yemu nga amalagala agamu ge batera okwabusinga oba bewandiise ng'ebiyagayaga. Naye ate ffe eno bantu bajaga yiyi ate dokita lwaki atuwa ebiyagayaga nedda naye eddagala lifaananiikiriza. Waliwo abantu abamu ababeera mu bulumi obungi ennyo nga liddagala lyokka erisobola ki okendeeza. Ate ng'enjagala ereeta addiction nabyo bisobola okukola ki okuleeta addiction. Naye eddagala eri ekirungi ne ba pharmacist abasinga tojja sobola kugenda nga ggwe n'olifuna.
Olina kuba na bbaluwa ya musawo.
Oba olina okuba n'ebbaluwa y'omusawo. Oluusi nayo ne bw'ogenda ng'omulwadde tebajja ddikuwa okujjako ng'ogenze neki n'omusawo yennyini n'akola ki n'ali ekimira. So ekya addiction kyo kizibu kinene neera tukiraba nnyo. Naye ate oluusi abantu abamuli eddagala litusobola okubabeezaawo nga naddala bannaffe ababonyabonyezebwa kansa nga eddagala lyokka lisobola ki okubawa. Naye nga bw'okyogedde ekyoli owa ssenyiga kirungi nti kakuyamba naye ate oluusi oyinza okuba olina ekinene kyokweka.
Ekiri emabega w'ekyo. Ogenze n'oyogera ku steroids. Ate n'ogamba si nnungi nnyo. Ze ziri wandooza situzitegeera bulungi.
Obwo obukerenda obumu nga buddekisa kubanga already ekyo mibisi gya mu mubiri ate girina obungi bwe bulina okubaawo. Waliwo embeera nti ku makya giba mingi olunaku olugenda gikendeera ate nga gizuukusa ebintu bingi ne gigamba omutima kola bwoti ne girinnyisa sukaali ensigo kola bwoti ekibumba kola bwoti. So kati gwe bw'otandika okuzimira zikyusa engootaanya yaki y'ebintu ebyo. Neera abalwadde abasinga bwe tuli bawa naddagala ezo zi steroids buddekisa bannanga abantu mbakuutira mubwagala nnyo buddekisa kaddekisa kankolera naye dekisa butwa. W'omukozesa obubi ajja leeta ebizibu. Neera mbasaba abantu
bizibu nga kinze no nange nali nkakozesa. Nga buli wano wankuuta nga mmira.
Sukaali alinnyisa sukaali buddekisa obwo bukosa muno eddokooli.
Ng'erikola lite?
Eddokooli lirina emibisi saagala kugenda nnyo mu lusawo luli. Eddokooli lirina emibisi lirireeta erituyamba okusigala nga tutegeera tuli aweeki liyamba omutima okukuba obulungi. Kati omira egyo gikyusa emibisi egyo egitambula ne bitandika okukosa ensigo ne kikosa ekibumba ne kikosa amawugwe. Dekisa si mulungi.
Yeetaaga ng'omusawo amukugambye.
Yeetaaga ng'omusawo amukugambye.
Kati ebyo bye kikosezza bisobola okutereera?
Bisobola okutereera bwe kiba nga kikwatibwa mangu oluusi kisobola nga kiba nga tekyasobola kuzza mabega.
Okay, steroids endala ziri ki? Tuwa example ya steroids endala.
Cortisone, waliyo bu prednisolone, obo bonna nkuutiriza abantu bwe bakakuwa nga kakukolera kirungi kakukolera naye at least genda ew'omusawo akubuulira ekituufu ku ddagala eryo.
Okay. Waliwo ndowooza waliwo n'endwadde ezimutunuulira nga tuzibaleeteddeyo n'ogamba naye tewandimiza oba mpeke genda onywe ku mazzi oba gumiikiriza kijja genda nga kyo mu butuufu kijja genda naye lwakuba tetuli bagumiikiriza n'oyagala bakuwa eddagala kubanga okimanyi mu ddwaliro balina kumpaayo ddagala.
Ekyo kyo kituufu nnyo neera weebale nnyo Farida okukireeta kubanga endowooza yaffe towards obulamu oba nti ngenze mu ddwaliro ekyalina okukyuka. Oli buli walowooza nti agenze mu ddwaliro alowooza ku ssente. First of all asuubira nti kiri expensive. Ate bw'ogendayo mu ddwaliro ate Dr. Kabazi n'agamba nti nedda ddayo.
Sigenda kuwa ddagala.
Omusawo
tamanyi byakola.
Omusawo tamanyi byakola. Naye kati kanzireyo ku kintu kye ŋŋamba nti kye point gye mbadde tuteeseeko bagita rational drug use. Eddagala lino lyenkuwadde lituukirira ekigendererwa. Ndiwadde Farida mu ddoozi entuufu. So kati eddagala bwe liba terituukirira kigendererwa kati nga obuzze ne ssenyiga okiba tetagenda kukuyamba nga ssenyiga myasa ebiri ng'ate obukerenda bwe ngenda okukuwa ndaba bugenda kukuleetera tulo ate ng'osobola okunywa amazzigo n'onyiga enniimu n'obaawo. Wenkuwa obukerenda obwo mba nkoze irrational drug use. Gwe muli owulira nti ye dokita ampadde eddagala naye ate mba nkukoze
consultation fee yange tensaze.
Consultation fee otutuula ne tuteesa already eyo ki consultation fee naye munange embeera yaffe tetunnakimanyiira nti already okutuuka ew'omuntu ne muteesa oba oluusi abasawo abamu aba ayagala mangu nti ozze jangu fuluma weeyongereyo. Naye consultation eba eweddeyo we muba muteesezza ne mwogera ate emirundi egisinga abasawo w'omugamba nti naye lwaki tompa ddagala akimenyamu n'akobulira nti nga bwe nkugambye.
Okay. Waliwo empiso sokoleka tulabe ku bantu abalimba emyaka kuba ndowooza eddagala muligaba okusinziira ku myaka gy'omuntu. Olina ajja sajja kkulu ya myaka 19 teryagala kula ne ligamba ndi wa 15. Awo aba yeeretedde obuzibu, right?
Awo aba yeeretedde obuzibu, yes. Kubanga eddagala lino kituufu nti tuligaba mu myaka kyo kituufu. Naye ate waliwo ensonga endala enkulu ennyo nti eddagala lino tuligaba mu kiro.
Mu kiro? Kiro zange oba kiro z'eddagala?
Kiro z'omuntu.
Okay. Kyemuva mutupima?
Kiro z'omuntu kyova olaba tukupima. Kiro z'omuntu kye kisinga obukulu oluusi then ne tugattako emyaka. Naddala mu baana abato waliwo sayinga egamba nti pediatrics oba obusawo bw'abaana abato bagamba nti omwana omuto si muntu mukulu omutono. Omwana omuto wanjawulo nnyo. So neera abaana abato kiro. Naye ate ku ba adults kubanga nga woonalaba ku bantu abakulu tutuuka point ne tulekeraawo okuki okukula. Abantu abasinga ku myaka 18 omuntu watuukira emyaka 24 aba takyakula. Ayinza okugejjamukko naye nti awanvuwe akole ki. So abakola aba bategekera gana amakerenda oba n'eddagala lino batudoozingira ne bakola engeri for convenience ne bafuna eddagala formulation ne bagamba nti omuntu omukulu ajja kumira doozi ki bweti. Naye ate oli bwajja nga mulaba muntu mukulu, yes emyaka gyegyo naye ng'ate weight ntono mukko nyinza okukonsideringa okuki okwadjustinga doozi. Maybe ekirala ku ddagala eryo n'emibisi gye nayogeddeko egiri mu kibumba ne mu nsigo egiyamba okuzuukusa eddagala eryo n'okulifuluma. Emirundi egisinga naddala mu baana abato giba teginnakola ki teginnatandika kufulumizibwa obanga gifulumizibwa muki mu bungi butono.
Kwegaba ntwala omwana wange mu ddwaliro nendaba eddwaliro nga terimupimye nfunemu okutya.
Funamu okutya.
That is baana paka ku myaka emeka?
Baana kyandibadde ku buli muntu. Buli muntu alina okuki okupimibwa. Buli muntu yandibadde akola ki apimibwa. Naye naddala abaana mwaka gumu kuva ku mwana azaalibwa paka myaka nga 13 bwe bava mu gye twandiise pediatric psycho circuit oba bracket yaabo abalaba omusawo w'abaana abaki abato bandibadde bateeka okupimibwa.
Balina okupimibwa. Okay, ali ku simu katuulire kyogamba. Hello.
Hello.
Wangi nyabo.
Asize otya nyabo?
Twasize bulungi wasize otya?
kakati mbuzako dokita oyo nti mu 2011 nali lubuto 2 months skin netandika okunsiiwa dokita namprescribingira cetirizine nangamba after 4 months bijagenda tebyagenda nanga miraka akakerenda after 2 years nendreducing amount nemangambira half times 1 kakati after in 2013 efuna olubuto dokita nateeka celestamine koye wesimira bukerenda obwo sibaako nanjawulo nagendako ewa skin specialist nampa eddagala naye era tebyakola kati nkoze ntya
esi gye bayita resistance okay katufune omulala ayogedde amadagala sigamanyi mpulidde musituzine yokka hello wanje sebo
ono yejowera mulate
wasuza otya sebo
bulungi njebaliko
kali nawe jebaliko
ate nzenga okubanga mu 2020 awo nga njanjabisa amatu nga gayizwamu amagi naye ng'okutuuka ne kati teganawona ngezezaako okujjanjabisa naye nga biganye kati nkoze
amatu gabadde kitegawulira gakuuma gakola ki
agayitwamu kale nga galeeta white blood
galeeta ki
white blood
white blood oba agamba pass
nkyeka amatu galeeta pass katukitwale nti galeeta pass
okay omulala hello wanji nyabo
NTV
yes nyabo
badde nkuba mbuza musawo
mbuza omusawo akuwulira
nyabo nfukaye omusiro gwange guli gero nyonyonyo ate nfuka mpulira obulumi omusiro tegusirikaye for short time ngenda nefuka short time ngenda kufuka bwentyo
ogambye gwakala ki guli yelo nyonyo okay kale mkwano webale nnyo omulala hello okay soke tulabe owa omukyalo ow'eddagala teri kyamukolera
omukyalo ow'eddagala ekisooka yagambye nti okusiibwa kuno kwatandika aliki ali lubuto emirundi egisinga kyetumanyi ti omuntu waba olubuto wabeerawo enkyukakyuka ezibeera muki mu mubiri enkyukakyuka ezo nnyingi sijja zimenyamenyamu osanga emu nezuukusa n'ezo ezandibadde allergies n'atandika okusiiyibwa nga bwe nagambye eddagala erimu lijja kukolera akaseera kiveeko kirekeraawo eddagala erimu ojja ddimira ate lifune ki resistance emirundi egisinga neera ekirungi yagambye nti alabako neki skin specialist ekyeddagala obutakola I think yeetaaga okuddayo alabe ki skin specialist oba oluusi okufuna opinion ki endala bw'aba yajja wa skin specialist nti azze wa kabazi luno agendeko enkyewaani ewa Farida oba agambe kabazi abuuzeeko ku banne bakubaganye ki ebirowoozo ekyo sijja kiteeka nti kiri kuki ku ddagala ku kye tuteesa leero
okay waliwo omwami w'amatu amatu gamuluma gavaamu pass ajjanjabye
omwami w'amatu ekisooka waba agambye nti amatu gavaamu amasira ajjanjabye waliwo obulwadde bwe tuyita otitis media bulwadde bw'amatu neera galeeta nnyo amasira obulwadde obwo abantu abamu butandika na mu buto bw'otabujjanjaba bulungi olusooka ebintu ebimu ebivaamu kyetutandika chronic otitis media chronic kitegeeza ekintu ekibaddewo ebbanga eppanvu neera musaba alabe ENT specialist omusawo w'ebiwanga amatu n'ennyindo amulabe naye kyalina okumanya nti emirundi egisinga wekituuka ku chronic otitis media chances z'okudda zibaawo
ono wasusu susu mungi ajja buli kaseera ate wakyenvu nyonyi
oyo mwannyinaze nkusaba oddukirira eri omuki omusawo
agende wa musawo
amulabe
ayinza okuba ina infection.
Ayinza okuba ina ki infection.
Okay. Abalala abogera ku byeddagala. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Wanchi nyabo. Hello.
Hello.
Wanchi.
Mbadde oli musawo.
Oli kwenzibi yogera omusawo akuwulira. Omusawo akuwulira.
Mbadde mbuuza. Ti nina ekizibu. mu bukyala bwange. Kati munsiiwa mulimu obuntu obunfumita nvayo n'amazzi ga cream kati gatandise okubunya.
Ga cream ga green. Ga cream. Kale mukwano. Hello. Hello. Aina genda kulaba gynecologist. Hello.
Hello.
Wani nyabo. Hello.
Hello.
Wanji nyabo oli ku TV tutawanya amatu. Hello. Bakuje ko bokuba kendeze dobozi ku TV. Tusobola okuwuliziganya. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Wanji.
No, njagala nnyo.
Kale nawe gye baliko.
Kati omusinza tumanyi dokita ngedeko like mwezi.
Omwezi mulamba agukuluma buli lunaku. Omize ku ddagala.
Namira ku ddagala naye.
Ddagala ki?
Nampako like panadol ddagala eddala.
Nga dokita yalikuwadde oba gw'olyewa?
Dokita namira ku dokita ne dwaming ne painkillers.
Bwe lyagaana n'oddayo. Wakamira doozi nga mmeka? Avuddeko. Mwezi mulamba ng'omutego muluma. Omulala, hello. Hello.
Oliddamu walituweereza.
Kale ssebo namwe mwe bali kulaba.
Mpitibwa Cedric Mirindi okukulira wano ekyajanga.
Yes, Cedric.
Neyanzizza obubaka bwa dokita naye okusaba kwange kuli. Abasawo bano abeeta bahabalist babugize public bali bajja ku mpewo n'obubaka obutatuukiridde olwokuba baagala sente. Kale mbadde nsaba oyo dokita akale okusaba kwange eri National Drug Authority, the regulatory body that regulates these set worker doctors, the herbalists, olwokuba balina sente zigenda ku media batuyambi balekera okujja mu bantu nga bakuba obulala ng'okuba baagala sente. Webale nnyo.
Kale webale nnyo ssebo. Cedric Chazanga. Tugenda kwogerako ku ddagala eryo. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Sebo.
Ubadde mbuuza omusawo oyo. Waliwo research eyakolebwa nga bagamba abadokita 60% tebasobola kuddayogerera bulwadde bwabwe. Akyogerako ki?
Okay, research yani eyo. Hello, avuddeko. Kati tumulemu katono ku masimu to hello. Hello. Yes, doctor. Bwemba bwengenda ne bampa bagitanye empeke. Capsule. Bwe bampa capsule. Nenga lwakuba nti okumira amakerenda. Nze nenjijako nenjiwa kajiiko nenjitabula nenjinywa. Mbanje onoonyi njitataganyiza.
Oba ogitataganyiza. Kubanga ekirubirwa ekiteekebwako akagundi ako ka capsule oluusi eyo membrane oba akaveera mu kabaamu akabuubyako eddagala mwe libeeramu emirundi egisinga bagikoze nti ejja yitamu buyise muki mu lubuto mu kisako ate ekisako ekyo nga bw'omanyi kibaamu asidi mungi ate oluusi oyinza osanga ng'eddagala terikwatagana naki na asidi so tuba twagala liyitemu ligende mu kyenda mu intestine then by that time wetuukira mu intestine ne ka capsule nga kazo eki kavuddeko then liyitwalibwe mu mubiri naye kati gwe bw'oliteeka ku kajiiko eyo ruuti oba okoze eki oba ogisaze
oba liba lyabusagwa nga ligenda lyokya kati wejja ne limpita wano nga
ekyo nakyo weekiri
okay kabicha kali mu
painkillers nja kwogera ku painkillers tusinga okukozesa nja kwogera ku tusinga okukozesa panado oba gye wandiise paracetamol ibuprofen diclofenac go ge mmanyi nti ge gasinga panado ekisinga okututawaanya panado akosa ekibumba
wanje
panado akosa ekibumba neera ate abantu bamukozesa nnyo neera kino nsaba abantu panado akola sikiwakanako naye buli w'omumira naddala n'osussa wiiki si muki ng'omuliko neera wobeera mu ddwaliro n'oba nga tukutadde ku panado oluusi emirundi egisinga ojja kugenda osange nti abadde amira obukerenda obubiri mu wiiki ng'ombaddeko wiiki 2 tukusse oba kukamu oba ne tufuna eddagala ki eddala leero wenjogera ku ddagala nga brufen diclofenac ekisooka ebyo bireeta olubuto okuleeta asidi neero omuntu wa alusa ajja kugamba tompa oba tompa ddagala eyo ninaki alusa ekyo kyekizibu ekimu bireeta olubuto okuleeta asidi omungi asidi oyo omungi wayitirira n'ayokya ki olubuto n'aleeta ebiwundu n'aleeta alusa ate eddagala eryo naddala budaiklo oba mu kategori eddagala lyefanaganiza eryo likosa ensigo
kati byonna mutuwa byaki
kati nga bwe nagambye eddagala lino nga tebinnaleeta busagwa oliwadde muntu mutuufu mulwadde oliwadde mu ddoozi entuufu oliwadde mu kaseera akatuufu oliwadde mu budde obutuufu ebyo byonna tubikola okukendeeza ki side effects zino
kati awo si we tugendera ku alternative treatment alternative medicines kati for example ng'omwami w'ekyazanga agambye avumiridde nnyo bahabalists balimberimbye abantu awo bo bayingiriramuwa neera bwe tuba tusoma obusawo oba n'abo abasomye pharmacology waliwo section namba ng'eyogera ku ki alternative medicines naye kizibu ffe nga nze kabazzi oba abasawo balala kyebandibadde ne ba alternative medicines nti tebiriiko bujuliro tekuli evidence kubanga ono panado agenda okutuuka nga bamukoze bamuyisiza mu trials basoose ne bamuwa oba obumese ne bateeka mu nkima ne bakezaako trials ku bantu ne bagamba nti panado ono yeetaaga kuweebwa mu bungi buno panado ono avaamu kino kitegedde panado ono ajjanjaba kino ekitali ku bannaffe emirundi egisinga eddagala yinza okuba likola oba terikola naye tewali evidence tegedde oyinza okuŋŋamba nti mwannyinaze nze yaŋŋamba lyamukolereyo evidence temala lyamuwonya ekigala
lyamuwonya evidence temala nja kugamba nti neddeyo evidence ki temala era bakama bange ku NDA nga tebannayingiza ddagala lyonna ebyo byonna bye batunuulira ne baliregisteringa omuntu bamuwa license nti katandika okuyingiza ki eddagala eryo
ate bo bagamba nti nerino lyemutuwa eriri packed obulungi ne mulituseera nalyo mulijjo omwo mu bikoola bye bagaba naye ndowooza problem eri awo bwogambye
nga bwe ŋŋambye evidence okukebera nti kino kyekivaamu kino eno keekana akantu ke tunoonya eno ingredients kyekirungo kino nti wenkiwa farida kyekijja okgenda kirumba obuwuka obwo obumutawaanya eyo yeki
ate obuzibu ku ddagala lyabwe bwe nalaba eryabwe lijjanjaba buli kimu
ekyo nakyo kizibu kirala nti tujjanjaba buli kimu
ng'eddagala lyerimu omukyalo ono agambye alina okusiibwa mu bitundu ebyensonyi agende ndowooza
agenda alaba omusawo bamukeberera ddala kijja muviirako obuzibu
ate mwana muwala agambye omutwe gumulumya okumala omwezi mulamba yamirako ku painkillers particularly panado naye omwezi mulamba akyali omwezi bw'omutwe
neera nga bwe ŋŋambye tuddeyo ku rational drug use nti eddagala lino lyenkuwa lijjanjaba ki kiki ekimuleetera okuluma omutwe ogwo?
Ayinza okuba tafuluma bulungi kuba bagana n'obutafuluma.
N'obutafuluma kikuleeta ki? Omutwe okuluma. So kiki ekimuleetera omutwe ogwo ki okuluma? Bwe ntandika okumenya ebireeta omutwe oguluma ate tujja va kuki ku kyatuleesera ekyeddagala. So nkwegayiridde mwannyinaze tokoowa basawo tokoowa malwaliro, please ddayo bakulabe osanga kweno visit gy'onaakola tujja kulaba ki ekikutawaanya ekikuleetera omutwe ogwo okuluma.
Waliwo n'omwami asembi yagambye ebitundu 6 oba wadde 5 oba 6 ku buli 100 ekyammwe abasawo temubuulira abalwadde bibaluma ebituufu. Ate nga waliwo n'omwami gwe manyi yakafa cancer recently bamugamba yalina TB ne bamutandika ku doozi ya TB only to realize later bw'alina cancer era yafa ng'eddagala yakayitandikako emyezi 2.
Ekyo kiri unfortunate nnyo. Eyo research muganda wange nandiyagadde nnyo okumanya wawe yakolebwa n'era baani abaagikola era kitongole ki nga bwe nagambye evidence based. Ekyo kyo ekyabasawo n'era tulaba bangi nnyo ku lifelink kwe tutuula tulaba bangi nnyo abantu abazze nga bamisdiagnosingibwa. Ekizibu kye tulina wano mu nsi yaffe ate ekigenda kya dressingibwa nti ani musawo. Buli muntu ayingira eddwaliro muki? Musawo. Buli muntu azimbye ka clinic ku side abeera muki? Musawo. Kitegedde. So sinza oyinza okuba ogenze ogamba nti ogenze wa musawo doctor okulaba ekikutawaanya ng'ate ogenze oba wa nursing assistant oba wa anesthetic officer. Omuntu ono si alina okutuula wansi akukebere akubulira ekikuki ekikuluma. So emirundi egisinga naddala ate bw'ogenda mu byalo kubanga baddokita tebatuuka buki buli wamu unfortunately. Coverage yaffe ntono tukyali batono nnyo kuki ku ggwanga erisiiba likola ki lizimba. So yinza okuba nga eyo ki y'ensonga naye research eyo nandiyagadde aginkwaseeko ngisome.
Okay. Omulala ali ku simu. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Wanchi nyabo.
Musawo nze ndi ku ARV.
Nyabo.
Naye mira Dapson mu kifo ky'okusimu. Dapson simubi.
Omirani?
Dapson.
Mu kifo kya septrine.
Simubi musawo. Kubanga ni outside.
Kakudde mu mukwano. Sigala ko kumpewo. Omulala hello. 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 Tukukutte yogera mukwano. Hello. Omulala hello.
Olubuto lunzimba ekiro buli lunaku simanyi lwaki mpulira nga olubuto luzimba ekiro buli lunaku.
Wabeera alidde bekimukama. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Wanji nyabo.
Jewe komyo.
Kale nawe jebaliko.
Kakati. Nze nazaala ba triplets. Naye obubuto bunene nnyo. Is there any hope nti nsobola okukendeezaako oba abo ba herbalist abagabaye basobola okumpa erikendeezaako
olubuto?
Olubuto.
Togenda kukolako exercise mukwano?
Nkolako exercise naye bukako.
Kale ojja kugezaako tokoowa kuba n'abaana baabo bakyali
bato.
Kale omulala hello. Hello.
Oida jebayoko.
Kale mukwano nawe jebaleko.
Oida nze kyembaleza kamusawo. Wenkwatibwa senyiga muntu gabeera gansiiwa.
Bw'okwatibwa kisenyiga?
Amatu gamusiiwa.
Omulala hello. Okay. Omukyala wa AAR, I mean ARVs ali ku mulamwa?
ARVs oba abalwadde baffe abamukenenya tutera okubawa septrini Septrin ono ayambo omubiri okwongeza immunity oba omubiri ejje erirwanisa obuki obulwadde mu bannaffe abo. Naye oluusi abantu abamu bareactinga tu Septrin. Septrin alimu sulfur oli gwe wambuuziza nga tutandika. So abantu abasinga
aspirin oba
aspirin naye mulaga mangi gali mu sulfur. Kati Septrin oyo abasinga tuyinza obatandikako n'afuna obuki obuzibu. So bw'afuna obuzibu ekirungi tulina ki alternative ya Dapsone. So maama wange Dapsone taliiko buki buzibu neera nyiikira kumira Dapsone. Awo kujjako ayongeddeko n'agamba nti ate mulwadde wa ulcer.
Kati Dapsone atawaanya ulcer. Ne mugamba nti Dapsone mu side effects ze ezimu ne Septrin byonna birina gye tuyita disturbance mu lubuto oba bitagaanyamu koki ku lubuto naye tekiba ku buli omu. Bye biri byewagambye bireeta acid.
Naye si mu buli omu. Percentage yabyo ya wansi nnyo.
Kati muyije
kiba kimuleetedde ate wekiba kimuleetedde nga si kyekimuleetedde ulcer obanga waamira nekyongeza ulcer kyenandi musabye agende addeyo omusawo barivisinga eki plan basigale oba waliwo alternative eyokusatu if not oba basobola okugamba Dapsone ono tumwetaaga tetulina alternative yakusatu kati ne ulcer ono tukole ki tumujjanjabe.
Okay, omukyala w'olubuto waliwo ono w'olubuto oluzimba lumuzimba buli kiro simanyi problem exactly kyekinendooza naye alaba omusawo
naye yeetaaga n'alaba omusawo.
Owa ssenyiga olumukwata bw'ati amatu ne gamusiiwa.
Ssenyiga oyo wemuba nyujjukidde sayansi wansi mu primary waliwo otunulira amatu n'obulago mulimu katyubu akagatta. Katyubu ako akagatta kalekaawo opening nti obuwuka bwonna obuleese obuzibu mu bulago busobola okutuuka ku matu munda awo. So ekyo munnange kiyeeke kyekikuleeterako okuki okusiiyibwa. Naye genda olaba omusawo bajjanjabe ssenyiga oyo aba akuyitiriddeko.
Ebibuuzo ndowooza bigweddeyo naye tulabe empiso. Musalawo mutya mmwe ng'abasawo ne mugamba omuntu galamira tukwokya empiso. Empeka eba egaanye musinziira ku ki?
Kati bye tusinziira empiso oba kumira oba kuteeka ddagala ku kiwundu ekyo tugiyita route oba luguudo ki lw'okozesezza eddagala lino lituuke bw'oyagala. Empiso eyo ey'oku kabina ennaku zino tukyagikuba nnyo. Tetukyagikuba nnyo naddala bwe tuba nga tugaba ddagala lino erirwanisa bujamuzi. Naye oluusi oyinza okujja nga Farida osesema. Omutwe gukuluma omusujja gukuluma osesema. Kamunguluze. Wenkuwa eddagala lyange n'omira ate n'olizza mba nkuyambye. So waawe ngamba nti Farida leeta tunoonye omusu w'eddagala tuliiseewa
direct
musaayi. Either dose enaasooka oweereko then tuddeyo kuki
ku makerenda.
So eyo ensonga emu omuntu yenna atasobola kumira ddagala oba kerenda tuba twagala tumuweeki ddagala nga tuyisiza mu ruuti endala ezitali ki ku mumwa oba mu misuwa oba ku kabina oba mu mpiso. Ekyokubiri omuntu oluusi infection oba obulwadde buyinza okuba nga bw'amaanyi ng'eddagala bw'onaamira empeke bw'enaayitira mu kyenda eyingire mu musaayi nga kijja twala obudde ate nga twagala eddagala likole ki likolerewo. So n'obungi bw'obulwadde nayo mu nsonga. Kitegeera waliwo eddagala erimu ate oluusi nga terina formulation zakuki zakumira. So awo tugamba nti tuyite muki mu misuwa oba mu mpiso. Sezo z'ensonga ze tukozesa nga tusalawo.
Waliwo omwana omuto nga amakerenda gamukalubiriza ddala okumira. Je nga toli mukwasa n'alimira era kuba kulwana ebiseera ebisinga n'asesema. Omwana bwe muwa empeke eddagala n'alisesema nziramu ne muwa immediately obeera nninda paka essaawa ze watugambye endala tumwongerereze tuddemu tumire.
Omwana we ziba mpeke ng'oziraba ziri visible zifulumye ziri well formed. You can attempt oyinza okugezaako n'oddamu okumuwangayisayo eddakiika nga 15 oba 3 kubanga ate tewandyagadde olimuweerewo kubanga kiyinza okumusesemya neera. Naye kibaawo emirundi nga buli w'omuwa bami mukomyewo tukyuse ki eddagala. Naye ate ku baana ekintu ekyo naddala ekyempeke abamu basinga tubawa ki syrups. Syrups zino oluusi ezimu bazongeramu kasukaali ne bawongeramu excipients endala ebintu ebirungo ebirala okubeera nti tebazigaana kimuwoomerera asobole okulitwala. Era ekirungi abantu abasinga bakola bulungi ku syrups naddala abaana abato.
Okay. Ogambe bwe njiraba nga agikomezaawo nga mpeke ennamba awo mpisewo obuddakiika mwongere ate webanga tekomyewo yonna
nga tekomyewo yonna
naye nga asesemye immediately after that.
Immediately dakiika nga mmeka tukiteeke mu
dakiika nga 5 kale
dakiika nga 5 tozirabye empeke muleke.
Ate abazinyiga nonyigira kajiiko
kati awo aginyigidde ku kajiiko oba tugenda kutegeera bungi kibukoze eki bufulumye. Abantu abasinga nga ngambye nti abaana bano balina formulations zaabwe ezibayamba nga syrup. Neera oluusi emirundi egisinga tugezeeko nnyo okusitiikinga ku formulation zino ntegeera empeke ziri cheap. Naye empeke eyo bw'ogimenyamu toli sure nti ekibadde 1000 grams ekikumi 1000 zifuuse 5 exactly washuminga buki bwashuminzi. Naye ate kasirapu kano bakakola nti obungi bwako obw'eddagala tono nnyo nti mu mils 5 ezo ojja kufuna kyakola ki kyeyeetaaga okamuwe anywe. Ate bw'aba asesemye nga addiringana okusesema kitegeeza waliwo obuzibu muzzeeyo mu ddwaliro bakyuse ki we bayise eddagala.
Naye nga bw'aba agimize n'eggwerayo ndaba nga talina tabbi yonna okunyigira empeke kajiiko n'ogimulungula tekina mutawaana. Okay, webale nnyo Doctor. Bibeera bingi ebyekuusa ku bulamu bwaffe n'engeri gye tubujjanjabamu tuba tetusobola bimalayo mu ssaawa emu n'ekitundu naye nga tubadde ne Dr. Paul Kawesa Kabazi okuva mu Lifelink Hospital wali e Namugongo. Mwebale nnyo mubadde balabi balungi tuddemu nate enkya. Bye bye.
Mwasuze Mutia was brought to you by
Just add the Radiant Hair Polisher before styling and finish your magical look with the Radiant Olive Sheen Spray. Your big day is definitely on. Radiant. Feel yourself.
Your life and your health are too important to be risked with a person who does not love you enough to want to protect you.
Finance Trust Bank introduces the Women's Choice products, exceptional financial solutions coupled with high interest on savings and low interest on loans to meet her unique needs.
Finance Trust Bank, putting women first.
NTV, turning on your world.
Look at all the juices that are in there, and that is what I'm looking for. My goodness, look at that.
NTV is giving you an opportunity to get discovered. Be the next big screen star. Are you an actor or an actress or have dreams to become one? Well, here is the biggest chance to fulfill that dream. Take a picture of yourself and tell us what makes you stand out. Then hashtag Discover Me on any of our social media pages. We are watching and we want to discover you.
This Wednesday at 8 p.m. on NTV. Revved Up, Uganda's premier motoring show, is back once again with an all-new and exciting episode. Join us every week as we take you through the latest innovations and developments in the motoring industry. All this and more on Revved Up.
This program is rated PG. It is suitable for children ages 8 and above, but parental guidance is advised as it might contain mild violence and mature situations.
And you, sir? I spoke to him a little bit about business, but not since then. Do you know if Mr. Villarreal had any enemies? Horatio owned a financing company, lending money with high interest rates, and there's no doubt that he had some enemies.
Anything else that I should know about him?
Yes. He told me that in a few days they would impound Venus. The famous ladies' lingerie company.
Oh, Gerardo, come on, please.
No, it's okay, miss. Venus?
Yes. Who knows if Eva Sotomayor had something to do with his death?
There could be many motives for this crime, Mr. Altamirano, but I'll tell you in advance that I will continue investigating, asking friends, clients, and acquaintances, including both of you.
But I don't understand then. How do you want me to be part of Eduardito's life if we won't be together?
You can be around him without implying that we're together in a relationship.
But Eva, I don't understand.
At this moment, my mind is only at that hospital with Eduardito, and I can't think of anything else.
No problem for me. The truth is that I got emotional. I was only thinking about myself. And well, you're totally right.
You really helped us. You've treated him just the way a real father would have. And I can't possibly thank you enough for that. But we have nothing at all to do with his death.
I didn't say otherwise, Miss Altamirano, only that you're an important part of this case.
I see. Allow me, Detective. This is unheard of. How dare you implicate us in this?
Sir, I'm not doubting, and I'm not saying that you're suspicious. I just said that you're important to this case. I'm gonna ask you a favor. Don't leave the country until this investigation is over. If you know anything, don't hesitate to call me.
Yes, of course. I will be in contact with my lawyers. I don't want my reputation put in question.
I suggest you do that. We'll be in touch with you.
You and I have a lot to talk about, woman.
Let go of me, because I know how to defend myself. You're creating a scene, you idiot! You're going to ruin our plans.
What plans? Your plans? Because I didn't realize that slowly but surely you're pulling me out of the game.
I'm not taking you away from anything, Ramon. Don't be so stupid. These people still need to be manipulated. What do you want? That you and I take a romantic walk in the garden so everyone can see?
No, I'm not asking that, Margaret. And you know why? Because I know that you're always in Rodolfo's room. Why? Do you like him?
Don't be so jealous, Ramon. You're pathetic. Why can't you understand that I'm getting involved with that idiot to get money from him? We don't even have a penny.
I'm gonna accelerate all of this, Margaret. I'm gonna fight for my rights as a parent of that little brat. I'll claim my inheritance, and I'll leave.
And I can teach him to swim. I don't know, I can take him out on weekends, I can take him to the park, have an ice cream. And I can take him to watch football, right?
Please, Jose Ignacio.
What?
You're going too fast. The fact that you can take part in my son's life doesn't mean that you need to take on the role of a dad.
And why not? I mean, don't you think that this is a test that destiny gave us to find out if we can be together?
What do you mean?
It's how I feel. I mean, why can't we think of the possibility of becoming a family? I love you, Eva. I love your kid. I don't know. I do think that we can raise a family together. Listen, I'm sure that Eberdita will be so much happier if he has a mom and a dad who love him.
Yes. Yes, but it's not possible.
But why not?
Well, because you're gonna marry Barbara.
Just imagine that the boy needs a bone transplant, you animal. And you had gone ahead and said that you were the father. Well, it's good that you didn't do it. Because if you had opened your mouth, at this time they would have put you on the streets for making sure that you're not the real father of the child.
Well, what do you want me to do? Tell me. Stay silent while you cheat on me every night? You act real important while I eat in the kitchen.
We need to take a lot of money from these people and then leave. And for that, we have to be intelligent, not impulsive, like you, Ramon.
It seems to me that your plans have changed, Margaret. But you remember, if you betray me, I'll kill you.
Let me handle this my way, Ramon. We're gonna get their money and we'll leave this house with our hands full of cash. Even if we have to defraud Rodolfo, or Rosara, or Rosa.
Oh, God, it's good to be at home. How tedious it is to have to go to so many meetings. Ow.
Miss Barbara, do you want me to get you some cold water from Jamaica?
It's just so hot, like hot flashes in a woman before she suffers through menopause. No man will get close to a woman if she's like Summer, or a 40-year-old woman who's divorced. Well then, to tell the truth, I think you're the one who's giving off that heat if it bothers you. I don't drink water from Jamaica. Give me a light drink. I don't know, with fruit or something like that. Not anything fattening. I don't want to end up like you. Hurry, chop, 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 chop.
And why did they have a board meeting without Eva?
Because in the end, even my Aunt Rosara realized who Eva is. And then we decided to have a board meeting in order to remove her from the presidency.
Oh, Barbara, my goodness, are you going to keep this war with Eva? Don't you realize she's in the United States and caring for her very sick son?
Blah, 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 blah. It's a decision that's already been made. We all concluded that Eva practically abandoned her position in the company for him.
I don't understand how come Rosara put herself in that position.
It doesn't seem enough to you that we have a disaster at our door thanks to her and her loan from Horatio Villarreal?
A loan that everybody in the office was in agreement with.
And a loan that could end up tossing everything, including you, on the streets for her irresponsibility. In other words, this isn't a little game, it's a disaster.
I can't believe that Rosara can be so cruel and such a traitor. She, better than anybody else, knows what Eva is going through.
Well, Eva's day has finally arrived. And now she's gonna pay for all the humiliation she's done to me. Oh, you'll see.
Well, I'm gonna make sure Rosara is gonna listen to me.
What's wrong, Rodolfo? Why haven't you just erased that imbecile from the picture? What doesn't work is what gets suppressed.
But what is really ugly is that the owner wants to plot against his own company, no?
You really scared me. What are you doing here at this time, Rodolfo?
You never came back to the meeting?
No. It's just that...
Gabriel told me that you went to talk to Horatio Villarreal. Did you talk to him? What happened?
This is... Yes, I saw him. It's nothing to worry about the embargo. It's all resolved. It's a matter of a day, that's all.
Well, I hope so. It would hurt me to know that they fired you from the company. I care about you, really. You know, I wouldn't want to see you end up the same way it all ended with Eva.
Eva?
You heard what I said. Rosara will restructure the company, and the first one to leave from the back door will be Eva.
you get your ideas from, Rosara? In the sewer?
What are you talking about? How dare you talk to me in this manner?
I do because Barbara just told me what you're about to do with Eva. Why are you judging her, Rosara? What's wrong with your granddaughter? How come such a sudden radical change in your attitude with her?
That is none of your business.
Of course it's my business. I was a witness of how you approached Eva, of how much she suffered when her son got sick, and how you were willing to do anything you could for her to stay here with him. And your disposition to get tested for compatibility with Eduardito.
You said it. For the girl's son. My great-grandchild, not for her. It was just a strategy. A very calculated one to get close to her without being rejected. In order to gain her confidence. And to keep the child.
But what are you talking about, Rosara? Have you gone crazy?
No. I'm sharper than ever. I want that child. He belongs to me. Eva was just an instrument to bring him to the world. But this little child will be the real heir of everything, and I'm going to raise him in my image and likeness.
You can't do that, Rosara. Eduardito is Eva's son. She's his mother, and you have no right to take him away from her like that.
And who asked for your opinion? In this house, you're just a guest.
Rosara.
Rosara, nothing. If you're not in agreement of what I'm going to do, or if you open your mouth to say anything to Eva, the doors of this house will be left wide open for you to leave. On the street, you hear? Did you understand? On the street!
You can't keep playing like this with Barbara. Since I've met you, you're her fiancé and you're committed to her. And even though you've changed the date a lot of times, you're still getting married to her.
Yeah, but now it's different, Eva. Don't you see that?
And why should it be so different now, huh?
Because I love you. And I adore your son. I want to spend the rest of my life with the two of you.
Well, what are you gonna do about Barbara then, huh?
I'll cancel the marriage. Yes. When we get to Mexico, I'm gonna end my engagement with Barbara.
Ya no puedo y te entrego lo que tengo, lo que queda en mí. Es absurdo no tenerte si naciste solo para mí. No sé vivir sin ti, dame de beber. Si no me das de ti muero de sed y convencida estoy de merecer cada respiro que me da tu ser. Es rosa diamante, amor, es raro y es de los dos. Porque es tan sufrido y a la vez tan hermoso, nos abriga en un solo corazón. Lo nuestro es tan único, es algo dramático. A veces lastima, pero cuando se ama no hay vida que lo haga morir.
What messages are you talking about?
Horatio sent you text messages, and I let him think that he was talking to you. He mentioned this wine cellar where he was eventually found dead.
Answer it.
I'm so sorry, it's my phone. Let's see. Hello?
Hello, Eva. I just called to see how everything is with Eduardito.
Oh, Andrea. Fine, thank God. The transplant was a success. Now all I can do is wait and see how he's gonna react.
The truth is that I didn't want to call you because you're with Eduardito dealing with the surgery and all that, but I think that you should know what's going on here, right? Your dear grandmother requested a shareholders meeting.
But what for if I'm not even there?
I don't know, but she's very angry.
Because they say you abandoned the presidency and left me to handle everything. And so, in other words, I'm inept.
But I don't understand. She knows perfectly well that I'm here for my son's transplant. This isn't a vacation. And before I left, I did my best to reach a settlement with the lender. And you are also doing all you can.
Well, I know that, but to them it means nothing. He didn't want to give us any extension. Well, either way, we're gonna have to wait, right?
Horatio Villarreal, never in his life will he ever disturb us again.
I'll call you later, okay? Because it's getting late. Bye. Nobody will ever humiliate me.
So you also knew the place where Horatio was killed?
So what about it?
It means that you knew where to find him.
What are you talking about? What's that supposed to mean, huh?
You knew that he had told me about that place. You were dying to see whatever you thought was going on between us, right?
Be very careful with what you're saying, Raquel, because I'm not reasonable.
And what will you do? Will you kill me or what?
I will never allow anybody, especially someone like you, to do this to me.
Eva, tell me something. Who told you about Horatio? Did you look for him? Did someone introduce him to you? How was it?
The truth is that I don't remember. I know we already had information before seeking financial institutions, but now that you mention it, I think it was Rodolfo who got the information about the company, and he told Andrea.
Okay. Because, well, Horatio Villarreal is an old friend of my dad. If you want, I can verify things on my side.
I wouldn't be surprised if your dad were behind all of this. And please forgive me for saying this, but your dad has done a lot of bad things to me.
Yes, I know. Well, on my behalf and on the behalf of my family, I don't know, I apologize. Please forgive us for any harm that we may have caused you, okay?
Oh, forget it. Now our problem is called Horatio Villarreal.
I don't know. It seems to me that if you want, you can go to Mexico, see how things are, and I'll stay here with your son and care for him.
Are you crazy? I agreed to leave my child in a hospital because they pushed me. But nobody's gonna make me leave my son until he's fully recovered.
Oh my god, why does everything have to be so complicated?
Oh, Andrea, I'm so glad you're here. There are a lot of checks to be signed. The phone hasn't stopped ringing, and everyone wants
I think
their
you
money.
forgot that I can't sign checks. We don't have enough money in the bank. Christina, invent something. I mean, go ahead so that we can...
Do I look like Fox News? Oh yeah, this arrived for you.
How was today's meeting?
No more gossip, but you know how Miss Barbara is. By the way, I heard her complain about Eva's trip and her fiancé, well, ex-fiancé.
Christina, you know that there are bigger problems to deal with.
Well, I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you. So without a sender? Assassins. What is this? Oh my god, someone is driving me crazy! Christina, who brought this here?
No idea. It was in with the rest of the correspondence.
Christina, it's not possible that you got an envelope without a sender.
What's the matter, Andrea? Another one?
Yes.
Good evening. Miss Andrea Fernandez, if you please.
Yes, that's me. Who are you?
I'm a police detective, and I need to ask you a few questions.
About what?
It's about Mr. Horatio Villarreal. He was murdered.
NTV, turning on your world.
NTV is giving you an opportunity to get discovered. Be the next big screen star. Are you an actor or an actress or have dreams to become one? Well, here is the biggest chance to fulfill that dream. Take a picture of yourself and tell us what makes you stand out. Then #DiscoverMe on any of our social media pages. We are watching and we want to discover you.
You can now become an exclusive MTV reporter on the go. With the NTV Go mobile app, you can create news by capturing and sharing content instantly. Simply download the NTV Go app on Google Play Store. Go to the N Reporter feature and start reporting as the news happens. We will air your story on a special TV program. NTV Go also allows you to watch news, instant live updates, and follow your favorite show from the comfort of your home, taxi, or your favorite kafunda. Download NTV Go app now from Play Store.
Purple Party!
Barara, are you ready? The Purple Party is coming to your town at the Heat Bar in Barara. One night, 2 DJs, an exclusive purple carpet, and lots of giveaways. It's the Purple Party featuring the Spin Doctor DJ Shiu, Winnie Nwangi, Caesar Bapana. Entrance is just 10,000 shillings and the event is hosted by NTV's Douglas Wanga. The Purple Party Tour is coming to your town and it's powered by Spark TV, NTV.
Brave woman.
Unbelievable.
Russo? Russo!
We got the green light from the Turkish police. Let's go and raid that place.
Let's do this.
I have you now, Vito.
Surprise!
Oh.
Good evening, Daddy dear.
You're always surprising me, huh?
I hope you don't mind that I had taken the initiative. It's that I imagined you'd had a very hard day. Of course, you had a meeting at Venus, and well, it had to be a very tough day and an exhausting meeting, am I right?
Yes, it was. And how well informed you are.
I want to relax you, pamper you, care for you. Is there a problem with that? And so, tell me, how was everything?
We're trying to get Eva out of the way.
Oh, yeah?
We have an embargo at the door, and the fly just keeps flying.
Damn that evil little fly.
Today pressed my limits. Sergio Escobar, the vice president of Aqua, was in my office, and the fly came in. That jackass wants to accuse me of sabotaging my own company.
And is there any truth to that?
I did everything for my family, for the company.
I don't doubt you. I only say this to take out that little guy so he'll leave you alone and you'll have no more problems.
Yeah.
Because no matter what happens, I'm totally behind you.
I like that a lot. It gives me strength, it gives me energy.
I love it when I hear you talk like that. Decided, a strong man, a bold man. And you'll crush that fly once and for all.
Whatever you want. Tonight I'm gonna be your vampire.
Yes, my love, do whatever you want, but I need to be something else than your girlfriend.
Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want.
I want to be your woman. I want to be your wife or daughter.
Why did you lie to the detective?
I didn't lie to him, Gabriel. Come on,
Obviously
please.
you lied. You said you hadn't seen Horatio Villarreal, and you told me that you were going to meet with him. What's going on, Andrea?
Hold on. Yes. I was going to see him. And on the way, I changed my mind. What are you insinuating, Gabriel?
Listen, Andrea, it doesn't sound good. That guy was going to seize the company. You didn't go back to the meeting because Rosara called you inept. Then you left mysteriously from the office. Then you told me you were going to meet the guy, and now he's dead.
But
what do you want me to think?
I didn't kill him. Are you crazy? I didn't even go see him, Gabriel. You know what? Instead of suspecting me for this, why don't you worry about this? It's another threat. Take a look at it.
Who in the hell is sending these?
Well, obviously someone who knows what we did, Gabriel.
No, what you did. It's what you did, Andrea. And if you killed a man in your past, you very well could have pulled the trigger on Horatio Villarreal, right? You killed him, didn't you, Andrea?
You know I love you. I'll call you. Good night. Bye.
Good evening, Sergio.
What do you want? What do you want?
Looks like you've had your fun, and now it's going to be our turn.
Are you morons? You stole from me? What's this about?
What you did to us has a price.
Should we kill him?
We kill him.
Careful. My God, Sergio. I'm so tired. It's been a rough day.
Yes, and fortunately everything came out all right, huh?
It did. But until they discharge Eduardito, I'm not going to relax.
Don't you worry, Eva. It's all gonna be fine. Listen, I heard that most of the marrow transplants are successful. Besides, well, if Eduardito and I are compatible, you'll see. He'll be strong and healthy.
I really hope so. My son is my life, I swear that. I couldn't live without him.
I understand perfectly. Because I couldn't live without you.
Today, the lifeless body of one of the country's financial leaders was found. That's Mr.
No.
Horatio Villarreal. A
No, it
forensic
can't
team
be.
has moved the body to the morgue. Later on, the authorities will give us more information about this terrible event. Reporting now, live from outside.
You knew that he had told me about that place. You were dying to see whatever you thought was going on between us, right?
You should be very careful with what you say to me, Raquel.
No. It can't be. My parents can't be involved in this crime.
I'm very tired, and tomorrow we have to be at the hospital very early.
Yes, we should be there first thing.
Thanks a lot for everything. Really. I'll be forever grateful. Good night.
Good night.
My God, who did this, Sergio?
Some thieves wanted to ransack the apartment. They thought no one would be here and they attacked me.
I don't know, this is strange. They didn't take anything of value.
What do you know? What do you know, Barbie?
I've been here several times with Jose Ignacio, to be honest. I don't know, it's very strange. Why did they beat you if they didn't take anything of value? I don't understand.
Stop with the questions, won't you? Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot for what?
For helping me. Now leave me alone.
No, I can't leave you alone. I mean...
Can I ask a favor?
What?
Don't tell anybody about this, okay?
And why not? You're hiding something, right?
What do you know?
Were you gambling?
What are you talking about?
Oh, Sergio, come on, man. Your addiction to gambling is no secret to anyone. Listen, I'm not judging you, okay? It's that... Shh. You helped me to get back with Jose Ignacio. And maybe I could help you with your financial problems.
Yes?
Eva, please listen. Think about the proposal I made. I was serious. There's nothing to separate us.
I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, my love. You love me? Yes, you love me.
Yes. Who prevents me from being with him if I love him? And he loves his son, not knowing he's the father. But I have to tell him the truth. I can't go on telling this lie.